Here we go.
Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Endgame Unclear podcast, episode 2. I'm one of your hosts, Jose Paz. To my right, we got
Zach.
The Z-Man.
Yeah,
and right in front of me,
Rory.
and this week we got a special guest. Diagonally from me is my damn-ass wife.
My name is Kristen. Hello.
Yeah, and I just want to start off by saying we said we were going to do no last names, and you've already broken that rule.
I muted him.
Whenever I introduce myself, I always go first and last name, even if the person knows me. You would do that in the emails, too. It's like, they know who I am, but sorry.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, whatever.
And we said no cursing, too. That's our
that went out the window. That was never going to roll.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit about that.
This whole thing
that was never
is
gonna
going
work.
off the rails. It's been one episode.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, we've got 2 more rules, so we'll see if those last.
I don't think we should have rules.
Well, the way I want to lead
it
it off...
got quiet.
Rule
I mean,
number one,
I don't want.
there's no rule.
I mean, I don't want to point the finger at. I don't want to point the finger at anyone here, but
Look at this
Jose,
audio.
look at me. Look at where my finger is pointing.
Yeah, not at
directly
me.
at you.
Mm. All right.
Okay, so
I've
what are we
lost
talking
track
about
of
this
what
week?
We're doing already. Let's do this.
Well, to start off, before we get into Infinity War and what we thought about the reactions and everything, I'd like to start off with the trailers that were beforehand. And what I actually just learned recently, they play different trailers per different movie theater, apparently.
But we saw the same one.
Did we?
Yeah, the Edwards here.
Yeah, okay.
I saw it at Sinopolis.
Oh, because you're all fancy.
Oh,
Because I need
fancy
those reserved
pants,
seats and
Zach.
be able to sit.
We have
back.
here-
We had
Edwards.
reserved seats too.
Yeah, but this one I can lean back.
I did lean back. I don't think you're supposed to, but I did.
I did too. People are bumping into the back of my seat. It's annoying.
Yeah. Well, here's the trailers we saw, right? We saw the Venom trailer, and here's my rant about this. It wasn't the newest Venom trailer, it was the old Venom trailer.
Oh, like the little mini clip?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
I got the full trailer.
So did I.
The new
No,
one?
we did
Yeah, yeah.
not. We got the little mini one, and it was very disappointing.
No, I
I,
got,
was
like,
ready
the-
to see the new long one
Yeah, like the 2-minute one.
on the big screen. Tom Hardy acting like a badass. I was ready.
Tom Hardy with his terrible New York accent.
I like his New York
Whatever.
accent.
I think that he's a great choice. I
Well,
mean,
no, I
come on.
think he'll
In
be
the
good
last
in it.
Spider-Man, let's talk about the last Spider-Man and Venom. Topher Grace, awful.
Oh yeah, Topher
I
Grace.
wanted to cry tears of fucking pain.
I didn't
and
know
I found
that.
out that Topher Grace was.
Well, I didn't mean
House's
to
Eddie
imply
Brock.
that like Tom.
It's so sad.
I don't think he's a bad choice. I just think that accent is bad. It sounds
No.
like he's like wavering on it a lot.
Two
in the
things.
trailer.
I like Tom Hardy with the accent, or British accent, doesn't matter. And Topher is short for Christopher.
Really?
I think.
Yes,
I don't
it
know.
is.
I don't know.
He did.
So
he
your second
converted
thing-
it short for Christopher,
So your
but like
second
instead
thing
of
is
being
guess.
Chris, it was Topher. Stupid.
I would assume.
Stupid thing to try to be real.
He went on the '70s show
That
and
guy
he's
can
like,
go
I can
fuck
do
himself.
anything I want.
Yeah.
Well, he can fuck himself. That's what I say.
Anywho, so the Venom trailer, very disappointed. Didn't get to see the new one. Did I see it on YouTube already? Yeah, but I want to see it on the big screen in 3D. Granted, the 3D hadn't started yet.
Okay,
I don't wanna see it on
then
3D.
how
I don't
about
like 3D.
you and me, Roy? We'll talk about the full length trailer because I did get to see the full.
Yeah, it must be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
It felt like they cut it together to try and make some weird coherent storyline.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it's like, oh, now you get your payoff. So it feels like you're going to watch 2-hour movie, and then the last 5 minutes, Venom's going to actually, like the real full-fledged Venom's going to pop up, and then it's going to end.
So
That's how I feel.
So let me give my opinion. I know Sony doesn't have the
Real
greatest
quick, when
track
does this
record.
movie come out?
October.
Okay.
So my opinion, I know Sony doesn't have the greatest track record with Spider-Man movies,
Yeah.
but the moment the Venom suit came up, I said, "We are Venom." I said, "I'm seeing this movie. I don't care what the rest of it is. That's my payoff."
I want to like it, but I don't know.
As
I'm super skeptical.
there's a lot of stuff they did right, which is the symbiote being able to talk to him directly.
Okay.
Yeah, but what?
Tom,
You got to come back.
yeah, you have to come back if you want to be part of this conversation. Eddie Brock referring to himself as "we" because it's 2 people.
Yeah.
And the "We Are Venom" thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I do like that.
I like that because if someone hears him, it's like the royal we.
The royal we?
You know,
Well, no, I know what you're saying. Because
Gonna
everyone
go
else,
back to wrestling somehow?
no, because
yes,
royalty
King of the Ring,
tends to say,
1999.
because royalty tends to say like "we" when they refer to me "I."
I don't know.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how they said symbiote?
Yes.
Symbiote.
I hate
was
it.
I was
Why would you
sickened
do
by
that? Why would you do that?
I don't know. It's
In every-
For
comic,
anyone who's listening,
cartoon, movie,
Symbiote.
it's a symbiote.
no.
Symbiote.
Shut up,
Symbiote?
Jose.
Symbiote. It's a
Sym-
symbiote
That sounds
suit.
dumb.
It's
Symbiote.
a symbiote.
She's not a science person.
Okay, it's symbiote.
Mm.
That's how it's pronounced. That's how.
Symbiote is.
I'm
not
telling you
it.
how it's been pronounced in the Spider-Man cartoons.
I'm telling
Oh.
you that symbiote is nowhere close to that. Makes
No,
me
it's
sick.
you're right. It's terrible.
You know,
But
It's like they're in
symbiote
the
is
South.
Cringe.
Symbiote.
Cringe word.
Yeah, I don't know why she was like, I don't know what like speech
purposely
or
made it funny.
director or whoever was like heard her say symbiotes, and that was like, yeah, that's
go,
fine.
Yeah, let's
Feel
go
free.
with that.
I'm wondering if that's a Sony Studios part of it.
Well, it is
It's
only
all
Sony.
Sony Studios
Yeah.
part
Well,
of it.
in collaboration with Marvel, I think.
Well,
No, it's an
all that-
association.
No, whatever.
Yeah, all that means is that hey, we're technically a part of
Yeah.
Marvel on this.
We're gonna give you guys a little bit of a cut to let us make this movie.
Here's what I'll say. I will see it because I did sign up for Movie Pass finally.
Alright.
Yeah, $10 a month. You can see one movie a day, but you can't see the same movie. So really, like,
Didn't
you
they
can't.
change the whole layout now or something like
They
that?
did for a brief second. They did
What do
it
you
where you
mean?
could only see one movie a week, but you also got like 3 months access to iHeartRadio, which I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, and everybody
So-
hated that,
Yeah.
so they changed it pretty much immediately.
Are they just literally throwing money away then?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I think that
I don't
think
they
that
make
one
any
movie a
profit
week is.
on that. I think they're losing.
That's what I
money
feel like what I would do
constantly just
anyway.
for
Yeah.
market share.
I
What the fuck?
Mhm.
yeah, I think the one movie a week thing is something they'll probably have to do regardless.
Eventually,
Because I think them
That's
say,
their standard.
Well, I
Well,
thought
from-
the standard was you could see as many movies as you want whenever
Yeah.
you want.
well,
for
it's
$10.
like
One a
one a
day
day.
now.
One a day. You
Well,
can't see more than one a day.
Yeah,
Still
I
though,
mean,
like
real,
one a
real,
day is ridiculous.
Well, yeah, realistically, but they are gonna have to limit it. If
Yeah.
they do so
But from
much.
what I hear, their ultimate plan, this is just what I hear, their ultimate plan is to get movie theaters to offer them discounted seating prices.
Yeah.
So they're doing this right now as kind of like a fuck you to the movie theaters, right? And then eventually then the movie theaters will bow down and be like, okay, we're going to give you tickets at discount prices. And then people are going to pay the fee for Movie Pass to get not free movies, but deeply discounted movie
See,
tickets.
I thought it was like, we're going to give you one free movie a day so that you go to the theater and that you buy
Concessions.
$12
Mhm.
Coke.
Now here's what
And
I
I
will commit
will
to.
buy that $12 Coke every
I
time.
don't know.
I need a bucket.
True, but
of
I only
Diet
pay
Coke.
$7.
Depth charge.
A
So-
Diet Coke.
So, guys, just something. My recommendation, because
Yes.
it's the first time we have a special guest.
Mm.
We should all be very cautious about talking over each other.
This is the
Yeah.
first time we've had a special guest, yes, on our second
On the
episode.
second episode,
yeah,
yes.
and we've already been talking over. Jose and I were having a conversation while the two of you were having a conversation on the same subject. So we should probably just be cautious about
we'll
it.
see how it
Something
rolls.
to be aware
We'll
of.
see how it rolls.
So anywho,
We're not
moving
good at
on
this.
from the
Jose, okay, you guys talk about Venom. Jose and I are going to be talking about Backlash.
So
We'll see how this goes.
past the Venom trailer, what else was it? It was a Deadpool 2 trailer. Did
Yes.
we all see
I'm
that?
excited about that.
That trailer sold me. I didn't know how Deadpool 2 was gonna go, but they have like the normal guy Peter or whatever.
Yeah.
At the very end, he's fucking falling.
Yeah.
He's skydiving and just like plain face on him.
Oddly enough, that wasn't the one I saw. I saw the one where it's Deadpool running towards the taxi from the crowd of people.
So you saw the old trailer?
Well,
That was,
I mean,
yeah, that
I've
was the old one.
Okay.
yeah, I mean,
good.
I've seen the newest one.
Because
on
the newest
YouTube.
one is like the official final trailer.
So I'm not
Well, I
the
think
one that
the
got
newest
fucked
one is
over.
just supposed to be like the X-Force.
Was the one that you saw where he's trying to block all the bullets?
Yeah.
Getting like shot at point blank?
Or
Point blank? Right.
no,
Okay.
that was in the X-Force trailer.
Yeah, that
Okay.
one's the best. Where he has all the holes
He's like, oh,
in him.
fuck.
He's like, oh,
Those
God.
bullets are really fast.
So I'm curious
Dude,
about
those
that.
trailers were freaking
What
awesome. They
yeah.
got that LL Cool J, like,
Speak-
don't call it a comeback. I
Yep.
mean, come
Speaking
on.
of,
That's great. It sold me. I'm ready.
Fucking jump
Speaking
up
of
the
phone.
Deadpool 2, I am looking forward to Cable, and as a comic book
You mean
reader,
Thanos?
yeah,
Oh,
basically.
spoilers.
As a casual comic book reader,
Casual, really?
yeah,
Mm,
compared to some
really?
people, yes, very.
I guess compared to us, yeah.
Yeah.
Cable's backstory is insanely complicated, and I don't know how much they're going to go into it. For a brief primer,
I want to ask you how complicated and why, but I feel like that's going to go
Well-
somewhere else.
for as to why it's complicated, it's because he's been a character for a few decades, and
I remember N64 is the Spawn game. He was in there.
Huh.
well,
But he
Don't
looked
think
nothing
that-
like the
I
Cable.
don't think that had anything to do with it.
You
I
know,
just wanted to say that, that's all.
Okay.
That's all I, have to add to
remember
this
being-
conversation.
When I was 10 years old, for whatever reason, they sold like a 5-pack of Spawn figures at Costco, and my parents bought those for me. And I remember I had a guy with like a hand that was like a double chainsaw.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I had those figures forever, and I fucking always played with them. And
Seth
stuff.
MacFarlane's trying to get doing his new Spawn movie.
Was Spawn that good though?
I like Spawn.
I don't know.
Do you?
I didn't
What's
like.
your favorite Spawn moment?
I didn't like
Yeah.
John Leguizamo as the Punisher. What was it
I
called?
don't. I never. Fully
I don't
saw Spawn.
know. He's the fucking clown that turns into like
Oh, yeah.
Diablo.
That was John Leguizamo?
Yeah.
Fucking A.
No, I never liked Spawn. That was never
Huh.
my jam.
I just liked it because it was darker.
That
So
was never my
Mind
I didn't.
blown.
I didn't like Spawn being all like
sad.
yeah, like depressing and stuff. But like I like the powers behind
Oh,
it.
yeah. So as for what Cable's whole deal is he is the child of Cyclops and Jean Grey from the future,
Huh.
who's infected with a techno-organic virus, which is why his arm is metallic, and a majority of his psychic powers are used keeping that virus from advancing. So that's why he doesn't use psychic powers. He
He's
uses
got a lot
guns.
of problems.
Some Fire
Well,
Emblem
that's
shit.
just that's just his. That was just how he was first introduced, and then he's also had to.
Wait, Cyclops and Jean Grey?
Yes.
Yeah, they were an item. Don't you remember?
Oh, for some
and then
reason
she
I
kinda
was
has
yeah,
a fling with
you don't ship 'em?
Wolverine.
when I think of Cyclops for some
I
reason
shipped
I was
Jean
thinking
Grey
of the
with
metal
Wolverine.
dude.
Oh.
Like he would frickin' bend her over, and I'm
Oh.
okay with it.
So he's done a lot of stuff with Deadpool. Like they did have a very lengthy comic book run together, but he also mostly fights Mr. Sinister, and Mr. Sinister is obsessed with Cyclops' whole family, and I can't remember specifically why. But there's also an alternate reality version of Cable who's just named X-Man, who is
X-Man?
Yes. Who is basically Cable without the techno-organic virus, so he's essentially just the most powerful psychic in the world.
So is he actually a bad guy, or is he like
He's
kind
more
of a
like
great
an
character?
anti-hero.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember in in elementary school, playing, your role playing like X-Men characters, and one kid always really liked Cable, and I was like, that's kind of weird.
But
I had no context behind it.
so
Who the fuck is this? Why do you like him so
Yeah.
much?
So my hope is that they do bring up the backstory of Cable, but I want them to do it in a very fourth wall way where he starts talking
Yeah.
and somehow Deadpool like turns to the audience like, okay, we're gonna speed this up, and it's just like 4 minutes of going like fast forward button on like Cable's backstory being explained.
Oh,
That would
I
be
like that
funny.
idea. If that's not in the movie, I'm gonna be pissed.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty.
So
funny.
and because they can't, I don't know how much they can talk about it, especially now that this whole Marvel Fox deal is going on.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much of it is going to still be relevant.
Mm.
I assume just because Deadpool made a ridiculous amount of money for a $50 million budget,
Yeah.
I can't see, and Marvel's already said they're willing to keep them, so I can't see them drastically changing Deadpool.
Did I read something that they're talking about Deadpool 3 being in trouble? Because
Well,
of something.
This
Right.
one was in trouble.
Ryan
Really?
Reynolds. It was Ryan Reynolds that said that he doesn't believe that there's going to be a Deadpool 3.
Oh.
And the way he says it is
No,
like
they reference
the-
it in the trailer too.
He
Oh,
says
no
like
shit.
the way for Deadpool to succeed is you have to take everything away from him, and the way Ryan Reynolds put it is like, I don't think you can keep doing that to this character, like, and make it work for a movie.
Okay.
So that was just his thing on it. But then I just saw today, that was like a few days ago that came out, but I just saw today that he confirmed that, oh no, it was for an X-Men movie or some other kind of
X-Force.
spin-off movie
Yeah,
that's
X-Force
coming
is
off.
going to be in it.
That TJ Miller, is that his name?
Yes.
The guy that
That
went
he's
crazy?
he's not gonna
Uh.
be in it for sure. They confirmed that he won't be in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was getting confused over it. I
Well,
thought it was Deadpool 3, but
That's what happens now that the whole Me Too movement is now in like full force.
Well, then he made a bomb threat.
Yeah, I think that's what.
TJ
sealed it.
Miller?
Wait, he made a bomb threat?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like on a subway or something. He's like, I'm gonna blow this shit up or something like that.
Why?
And
Okay, never mind.
yeah.
That's not Me Too movement at all. That's just TJ Miller being an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So anyway, that happened.
He
so,
spiraled.
Jeez.
So Deadpool 2 trailer
So Deadpool
sold me. I'm gonna see
interested.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
And then the last trailer I remember was the Jurassic World Kingdom.
I don't really care about it.
I didn't see that one.
Doesn't,
Really? Oh.
Doesn't tickle
I mean,
me.
I've seen the trailer. I didn't see it at my theater.
You know, everyone shit on what was the last one called? Lost World?
Jurassic World.
Jurassic World.
That was the first of the new ones.
Yes.
Right? Okay. For some reason, I thought there was.
I really liked it. I don't know. I had fun.
I
with
liked
it.
that one. This one, I'm not very excited
I didn't
for.
like the unnecessary scene of the one assistant lady being like murdered for 5 minutes.
What?
What?
Do you remember the main female's like assistant who was in charge of like walking the kids around and stuff like that? And then
Oh, you mean like when the pterodactyl gets her?
yeah,
and someone
pterodactyl
other-
picks her up,
and
flies her over, and it drops her in the
Megalodon gets
water.
her.
And then it tries to pick her up from the water. She keeps getting dropped back in. And that giant shark thing comes up and eats her. And it's just like, it's such an unnecessary scene. Like, just have her getting carried away from the pterodactyl and I'll assume she's dead.
For a trailer, that kind of went on.
Yeah. Well, with this trailer, I like the first trailer they showed. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's kind of mysterious. But now that they explained more of what the trailer or what the movie seems to be, I'm like, man, like this really like turned me off from the movie. Because I was like, oh, they're selling dinosaurs, whatever, and they have like a little mini. What was the first? The Dominus Rex or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a mini version.
So it's a raptor.
Pretty much.
I think it's funny that after Jurassic Park 3, they were just like, no, guys, not Tyrannosaurus, raptors. That's what we're going to
I
focus
just
on.
don't like
That's
the
it.
idea
Those
of
are
the
the
new
favorite.
one where it's like, let's take dinosaurs and make them into like secret agents. Like that's what it felt like to me. So they're like, oh, this is the most deadly predator ever.
I don't
And I'm
understand
like,
this.
you're gonna have it like fucking running down the street and like jumping into a window. And,
I
murdering
just
someone.
personally don't understand this premise
TPK.
of, like...
I'd
and
rather
this
do
was
that
a-
to like cats or dogs.
Well, and this was in the Rampage movie, too.
Oh.
It's like, oh, we're going to make this trained killing machine that will just drop into an enemy territory and kill everyone. I'm like,
Oh, I didn't
Re-
think of that. Like,
like-
T-Rex airdropped into Fallujah.
well, yeah, that was God, what's his name? He played Kingpin.
Michael Clark Duncan.
No, not him.
Oh.
He played Kingpin in the Daredevil series.
That's the only.
I never
Kingpin
saw
know.
Daredevil.
Anyways,
He also like
Kingpin
Mile.
basically said, "Oh, I want these trained raptors that you guys have, and we want to use them for like military training because we want to be able
In
to use."
Punisher?
Just no,
What?
the actor who played Kingpin. Just
Sorry,
please
I'm
try and
lost.
pay attention. Anyways, Rory, can you please look up his name? This guy like
I don't-
bugged the hell out of me.
Here, I'll look it
do
up.
it.
In Daredevil?
Yeah,
Okay, go
Kingpin
ahead.
Daredevil. So he said we want to use these raptors that you guys have proven can be trained as as like basically weapons for the military. And Rampage had kind of a similar idea of like, oh, we're gonna create these highly aggressive killing machines and drop them into enemy territory, and I'll never see them coming. I'm like, haven't we advanced past that technology wise? Like, are we still on the process of sure we could just drop a killing machine into enemy territory and it'll handle things? Like, aren't we at the point of like, no, guys, drones. We could just use those.
But drones aren't as cool as like airdropping a raptor with a
Like
fucking
a
machine
friggin'
gun on its back.
dinosaur.
I guess if you want to demoralize
Freaking
enemy,
sharks with laser beams
yeah, I guess
on
if you
their
want to
heads.
demoralize enemy troops, just a giant T-Rex falling
That's
from the
exactly
sky.
what this is.
That's basically
Really?
that's exactly why I don't like
That's
this
the
movie.
premise of this movie.
If I can go on a tangent
Dr.
real quick regarding drones.
Plan is
Okay.
coming to fruition.
So I work in a separate building from my work, right? And I have to walk over and want to get a soda. So I'm going walking to get a soda, minding my own business. And I hear this buzzing happening, and I'm like, man, either I'm gonna get freaking mowed down right now, or
Is
there's
this
gonna
where
be a
your
swarm of bees on
fucking
me.
bees came from?
Kinda. And
We'll get to that in a minute.
And I'm
Wait
like,
for it.
and I started looking around everywhere. I was like, what the hell is that? There's like a drone flying around and like looking at me and stuff. I'm like, what the hell? And it's either for the company making a video or somebody's like creeping on me. It's very strange.
They weren't looking at you.
Anyway, also
Where did that story come from?
about the drones. Makes perfect sense. And the actor for Kingpin is Vincent D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio. Yes.
Doesn't look like
Get it
very
right.
Who knows
intimidating.
what that?
He's
I'm not sold on Kingpin.
I don't know.
he. I swear to God, go watch Daredevil season 1.
Okay.
He is the best part of that.
Is he?
He is so good.
I don't like Daredevil.
Well, I just told you, Kingpin was the best part of it.
How many seasons are there? Two?
2.
Okay.
Don't care.
How long are they?
I'm on
So
your.
I tried to watch
Yeah,
Jessica
I don't
Jones.
give a
13
shit
episodes.
about him.
Jessica Jones, Daredevil.
Jessica Jones. We tried to watch one episode of it. I couldn't even make it through one
What's
episode.
the other one?
Luke Cage and
Luke
Iron
Cage.
Fist.
I heard Iron Fist is a piece of shit.
No.
Well,
I
because
know
it's
all
bad.
of those are just
They.
awful.
So I've seen all of them, except I haven't seen Jessica Jones season 2 yet, even though I need to get on that.
Okay.
But Iron Fist, the problem is it's a lot less martial arts, more courtroom, more like boardroom drama.
I object.
No, not
Oh,
courtroom.
Phoenix
Wright
Wright?
style?
I'm
What?
ready.
Phoenix Wright style?
If you make a
No.
Phoenix Wright
Boardroom.
show,
Oh,
I'm
boardroom,
down.
not courtroom.
Phoenix Wright in association with Marble.
I'm
Yeah.
down.
I'd watch that.
That's the kind of superhero we
Just
don't
as long,
need it. We deserve it.
just as long as his hair is equally as fantastic, he calls out objection. And if Miles Edgeworth isn't in it, looking pimped out as fuck, I will be upset.
Oh yeah, he is the most pimp as fuck character. I
If he
think, in
isn't
the
wearing at
history
least
of
5
video
different
games.
ascots throughout that movie, I will boycott it.
So, I'm thinking about it.
Every scene, a
I don't know
different
how
ascot.
Yes, it has to be.
We were talking about Jurassic Park. How did we get the Daredevil?
I don't know.
Prince
But
of
let's,
D'Onofrio.
we're clipping in time here. Let's
Yeah. All right. So
let's get back
moving
to
on.
it.
Let's get back now. I think that's all the trailers that happened. I don't remember any other ones.
The only
I think
ones we cared
Incredibles
about.
2 looked pretty good. I'll go see it.
I'm ready for
That's all
Incredibles
I'm
2.
saying.
That was one of my
Oh,
favorite
that's right.
Pixar
I never watched
movies.
Incredibles.
I'm pretty.
It's fun.
I'm ready
It's
for
alright.
it. I think it looks really good.
It looks like a
I'm
fun
excited.
family movie.
I think that I've seen bits and pieces of it, and I think the ethos of the main villain of if everyone's special, no one is special. I think that's a pretty I mean, as is like Pixar's modus operandi and like the standard is that's like a really good theme.
Yeah.
And it is something that kind of like resonates with a lot of people. Of like, I can understand why he's upset.
Yeah.
Like if there are a bunch of people who were just inherently better than me, I'd be
Yeah.
upset. It's like whenever I see like Superman being like sad, I'm like, what do you have to be sad about?
Yeah,
You're
with-
objectively the best person on the planet.
Yeah, it's like
Stop
I didn't say
moping
any
around.
shit till you pay me.
I don't know. I'm a little nervous about it because I really loved the first Incredibles, and I feel might be an unpopular opinion, but I loved Finding Nemo. I thought Finding Dory was kind of a piece of shit movie. Like
Yeah, it was that
I didn't
great.
really like it, and it makes me a little bit nervous. They waited a long time to come out with this movie. I also heard Super Troopers, the second one.
I saw Super Troopers.
Was it good?
It was
Because they waited
enjoyable.
so long to come out with it, and I
First
love
one-
the first one.
First one's better. This one you won't hate it, but you won't walk out being
We-
like
we already
that was
talked-
way better.
We already
Alright.
talked about this last
Are
week.
you
We
saying
can't be
you
talking about it
didn't
again.
listen? No, that was on our first one.
I
That was on our
did
raw recording.
Oh,
listen.
right.
Yeah.
Kidding me?
I'm gonna
Um,
move.
Anywho, I'm ready for Incredibles 2, but
Oh.
I'm a little.
I-
I'll proceed with caution.
I will say, when me and my girlfriend went to Disneyland and there's like that's a canned sound effect we're gonna start using.
There we go.
But there's like a special Pixar light show, and it was basically like fireworks combined with like screen projections onto like fountains, more or less.
On Tom Sawyer Island?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you see that, and it's like they're very selective about which ones they use.
Mm-hmm.
Like Coco, Incredibles, Finding Nemo, Toy Story, and
Well, Coco is like the hottest thing.
well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like you saw a lot of those like 5, and up, of course,
Yeah.
and then
Of course.
yeah, The Good Dinosaur had one quick little like 2-second clip.
I
Like,
didn't
oh
see
yeah,
that.
we also made
I
this
didn't
one.
even bother
Dinosaur?
waiting for it. I didn't bother
I
seeing
heard of the
Yeah.
piece of shit.
at all.
I heard it wasn't that.
I heard it was
I heard
awful.
it was. It's basically like, yeah, this is DreamWorks quality, not quite Pixar quality, but odd choice in the Pixar Light Festival. For spoilers, they do choose to show the scene of Woody and Buzz being dragged down into a furnace, waiting to die from Toy Story.
Yeah,
That
they
was
showed
the
that.
worst scene. I mean, it was
And
the
then-
best scene.
and
It
then
made me
followed
tear
by-
up. It was awesome.
And then followed by Up of the old man flipping through the photo album. I'm like,
Are they
this is
trying
a weird
to make
direction
you
to
cry?
take.
They're trying to be so dramatic.
I'm not like a super Pixar fan, but I did turn to my girlfriend. I was like, is this where the whole thing just gets really sad?
Now, I didn't hear the Toy Story 4 that the plot is that.
It's some love story.
Toys are
Well, Woody and Buzz find
Finally.
They
Wendy's
murder
mom's toys that are also Woody and Buzz.
Huh.
Well, I think they're passed down.
That's an
Huh.
oldie but goodie.
I like that one. But
Oh, God.
Incredibles 2, I think that it's kind of cool actually, and this is the way I'm thinking about it so far, that the first story was about Mr. Incredible, like, regaining, like, his superpowers and being like, oh, I'm a fucking superhero again. And this one's the opposite, where it's Mrs. Incredible, where she's becoming the superhero and he's just kind of...
I feel like this one's
Yeah,
latching
fuck
on to
her,
like
whatever.
the whole like all right, now we're gonna flip it. It's a stay-at-home dad with a working mom.
Yeah.
Who also has to come home and be, like the housewife, and then goes to fucking work. She's a
Well,
superhero.
no, I think because he doesn't work anymore. I think the premise of this, she's getting money from this new job, or her
That's-
family's being provided for.
Yeah.
That's literally what I just said, wasn't it?
Oh, I thought you said he has to go to work now.
No, he's the stay-at-home dad.
Oh, okay. But I think it's more latching on to the general, like, maybe just, like, DC tones that there are now in movies.
Yeah.
Which Deadpool, and calling back to that, also latched on, where in the newest trailer, the X-Force trailer of Kale's beating him up and, like, says, you're not a hero, I forget what he says, but he says, you're not a hero, you're just a clown dressed up as, like, a sex doll. And Deadpool says, so dark! Is this the DC universe?
Oh, that was a great line.
They took something real quick to go back to the Deadpool trailer. They took some Disney comment out of that I did not hear. I read about it. Does anyone know?
Oh.
There's some Disney
Haven't heard
joke in
about
the Deadpool 2 trailer, but Disney forced them to take that out of the
Fucking mouse is
trailer.
gonna come after him. I want to see, remember South Park?
there was
when
there was
Mickey
a-
Mouse beating
Beat
the
the
shit
shit
out of
Jonas
him,
Brothers.
yeah.
There was
Same
a-
thing. He comes into Deadpool world.
There was a Thanos joke in there, so maybe that was it.
Huh.
So, speaking of Thanos, main topic of the
Ooh,
podcast.
nice segue.
Ooh,
I like
that.
it.
Yeah. Let's snap our fingers real quick and get to it.
Don't do that. It makes me sad.
Let's talk about Thanos, my new boyfriend.
So
my
let's
new Marvel
start out.
Universe boyfriend.
So, do we want to start out with the deaths that we predicted last time, or do we want to wait for
Yeah,
that?
let's see who was right. Well, I think most people were right because of
Yeah.
how it ended.
So here's what we had from last time. I'll start off Rory. Rory predicted Black Widow, Iron Man, and Vision dying. Now we're calling the disintegrations. That's death, right?
Well,
That's death
I
in this
think-
movie.
I think
We'll talk about
as
I
said,
we were thinking like death is in like Thanos like fucking ends him like with
Well,
his own
strangles,
fist.
yeah.
well, now I think the death part is just going to be who stays dead. Because
Yeah.
the moment I saw, like, the Guardians of the Galaxy and Black Panther die, I'm like, well,
that.
this
for
isn't
sure,
going to be
like,
permanent.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, let me go through our list real quick,
Okay.
and then we'll go from there. So Rory predicted Black Widow, Iron Man, and Vision dying. Two of those, they're dead. Black Widow and Vision.
Black Widow didn't die.
Didn't she?
No.
Mm-mm.
Oh, no shit.
And of
Did you
course,
see the movie?
Iron Man, I thought was gonna die.
Yeah.
Like he's the one.
Okay,
He
so
should have
Rory
died,
only
but he
got
didn't.
one.
Yeah. He used
So
ice to
I'm
protect his
reinstating
wound.
Black
Bam.
Widow. Zach predicted Hulk, Iron Man, Vision, and Scarlet Witch. And that, was it just Vision?
No, Vision
Yes.
and Scarlet Witch died.
Oh yeah, Scarlet Witch.
Oh, yeah, she
did go.
disappeared.
Yes.
I predicted Captain America.
Well, if you want to go based on what Roy was saying earlier, Vision died, like killed by Thanos died. Scarlet Witch faded away.
No,
Yeah,
we could do the
we'll just say
faded
die,
away
die.
one too.
Okay.
Let's
Because
encompass
in this
them all.
movie is dying.
We're playing the long game.
Yeah. So I predicted Captain America, Falcon, Thor, and Vision. I got Falcon and Vision. And I asked offline, Chris, I asked you, who did you predict to die? You guessed Nebula, Iron Man, Vision. Do you have one more? I don't remember now.
I don't remember either.
Okay.
So percentage-wise, Jose and I
Got the
died.
wrong sister.
yeah.
I got the wrong sister.
Mhm.
Well, I especially because I follow a lot of like the news articles, which I don't think many of you guys really care about as much.
Mhm.
So I knew going into this, like, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is a thing that's happening.
For
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
And
they already,
well, they've already announced it for
Yeah.
like 2020,
Yeah.
and so I didn't think like any of the Guardians were really gonna die.
That's what we
and,
were talking about, too.
me neither. That's why I picked
Yeah.
Nebula, because I was like, obviously none of the
Yeah.
Guardians are gonna
So-
die, but then,
So yeah, I was, unless Guardians of the Galaxy turns into like
A
Rocket
prequel?
Raccoon not
Like-
dealing with emotional trauma.
What if they don't die? What if they just move to a different universe?
Well,
That-
without Rocket, that's weird.
Well, like
you mean
it's,
like when...
it's like it's the multiverse or whatever. Think of that. It's like they're in one universe and Thanos is controlling that, and then he snaps his fingers and then they just
Like
move
they're
to
trapped
a
in
different.
limbo.
And they have to figure out a way to get back, so they have like Bizarro.
Kind
Thanos
of
that
like
they have
at
to
World's
fucking
End
kill.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well,
Listen to that
I'll say
trailer.
that in the original Infinity Gauntlet storyline,
Yeah.
they do just like they're just dead. They're just gone. But go
Just
on.
ruining all my.
Well,
fucking
I was thinking real quick,
Well-
I want to talk about Thanos.
Yeah.
That like I said before last episode, I didn't really know a lot about him
Mm-hmm.
aside from different colored children. He's purple, whatever. That this time I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do a little bit of research just to see because I want to see what he's like. So I read the Wikipedia, and he sounded just like stupid ass villain. Like his
Yeah, he sounds
motivation
like a
was
puss.
like, I'm just angry because my mom tried to kill me, and I just want this death and destruction.
Yeah.
But in the movie, like I feel like he was a much better version of that because he actually had like a purpose, almost kind of like
Well, he's the refined version of the comic book
Yeah.
Well,
character, I think.
Well, going into this, I was curious about how far they were going to go with his character background. And we talked on the first test recording that we did that Thanos' thing in the comics is he's obsessed with like death. And
Yeah.
not just like someone dying, like the metaphysical embodiment of death, which happens to be like a woman, and he
Yeah.
wants to like date her, basically.
I did see a version we saw earlier on YouTube. She looked kind of hot.
She changes forms every once in a while,
Mhm.
but so he's trying to like in the comics he does all this to try and like impress her,
Yeah.
basically.
And he just
I wonder if
wants
they're gonna
to
bring that up.
seduce Death.
Yeah, basically, and Death is just like
But
basically
he does get a romance out of her. That's what I saw. He just kind of
like,
gets them in, like for all his efforts.
it never lasts.
Like half
Uh,
the universe has to die, but you know. He
No,
got it
she's
in.
not even like no. Even after he does that, she's still like, eh. And then he's like, what? And then he's like,
Still a bitch.
well, yeah, she's
That's the
very.
definition of playing hard to get.
She's very like, well,
Just
well, because the
half
whole thing
of
is
a
like she
fucking
doesn't.
bitch.
Well, because the whole thing, she doesn't really care.
No, you're a
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, Death, what if I kill 50% of the universe? Will you love me then? And she's like, eh. And then he does it. And he's like,
I've
so
had
have I
better.
proven my love to you? She's like, eh. It's like, what if I kill more people? Eh. So it's basically him just continuously trying to impress her.
But I'm glad they didn't go down that road in the movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was going to say that because I didn't want to go through the whole explanation of them. Like, basically, they changed his, like, feelings for Death onto feelings for Gamora, which I think makes him a
didn't
much
buy
more
that.
interesting character.
Oh, I love that.
Like, I couldn't buy. I thought he was like doing mental gymnastics to make it work for himself.
I love
like,
that. I thought the scene like with him and Gamora, like when she was like a child, like I thought that was so like it made you really feel for the bad guy, and I feel like the really good movies they make you feel for the bad
I
guy.
don't think that scene made me feel for the bad guy.
I did.
I think the scene with him
But it
At
ties
the
into
soul-
it.
In the
Well,
throne room?
But it
no,
ti-
him at the Soul Stone thing maybe
Yeah, when
is what
he-
made
Oh,
me
yeah.
feel for
when
him.
he throws her off, but I'm saying
Yeah.
like it ties into it because he's
Yeah.
like, oh, little one, like, and it
Yeah.
shows him rescuing her in
Yeah.
his mind, in his reality.
Yes.
And he's fucked up, but
Yeah.
he's like rescuing her.
Yeah.
And he thinks that everything he's doing is for this like great purpose, and like, oh, you should be so thankful that I'm rescuing you,
Yeah.
because he doesn't see how crazy he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's a great bad guy.
He is,
I really love
He is
him.
called the Mad Titan.
Now,
I really
Um,
loved him.
Real quick, how would you all rank this for the movie? I was telling Chris here before I wanted to see the movie, I was going to jerk off because I knew I was going to clean my jeans during the movie.
I think that's another
as
rule
one
that we
does,
broke.
yeah, I guess.
I think that's another rule. Sorry, another rule that you broke.
Yeah. Do we
There's
think
no
this is
rules.
the best Marvel movie? Because I think so.
I think
like,
it
I
is.
do.
I think it
I
is.
do. I can't think
I
of
don't-
one that's better.
Of
I
all the
don't know,
ones that
Civil-
I've seen.
I think standalone, no, but just like
I think
Like,
this
as
one
a
is
whole?
one of the
Yeah.
few that's lived up to the hype.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like Black Panther lived up to the hype, I think, but this one is like it had so many threads that needed to actually
Yeah.
work, and it
Yeah.
did.
I think if anything, just you have to like respect the Russo brothers for somehow being able to like bring all these like strings together and forming something coherent.
And it made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, like Civil War is like, which is like something else the Russo brothers did.
Yeah.
Was
That
like
movie is great.
it's still personally one like my favorite. I don't know if I'll probably have to see Infinity War like a few more times,
Mhm.
and when it comes out on DVD or
Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Well, maybe all digital.
Correct yourself.
To see if I still like stand by it, because sometimes once you've seen it like once and then
Yeah.
you sit on it and they see it again, you're like, why was this like this?
And real
But-
quick too, can I just say
Yeah.
that I'm glad that we did it in this way. Me, Chris, and Rory watched this movie roughly a week ago.
Yeah.
Zach, you're one day away from watching it.
Correct.
So I
saw
feel
it
like
yesterday.
I feel like with me specifically, when I watch something, I'll have really mixed emotions about it, where I might hate something, but then realize a little bit later, like, you know what, like I actually really dug it and stuff. I get very conflicted with it.
For sure, he needs
within
a
the
moment.
first 24 hours.
He needs a quick
Process.
minute
Yeah.
to process a movie. Like
Yeah.
I'll walk out of the theater and be like, "That was fucking awesome," and he just is like, I need a minute.
Yeah, for me, it's overall feeling of when
I
it
need
ends. It's
time.
like, in that scale, like, am I more happy or more like this fucking blue?
I'm very like, if I'm feeling like sad, especially since I was with my girlfriend who was like very bummed out by the end of the movie, and so I immediately, because like I knew she was gonna be sad with it, so in my mind the first thing I did was start like cracking jokes, like
Just
being like, well, yeah, like reach over and grab her hand because she was like, I knew when those deaths started happening, she was like super sad. And didn't want to like see that because she does, especially Spider-Man seeing.
That's what I was gonna ask you.
Okay,
yeah,
that one was
that
too
was
much
so
for me because that
emotional.
reminded me of like the World War II like
It was so
bombing of
emotional.
like Pearl Harbor,
Yeah.
and they're like under the fucking submarines and like the water's coming up, and they're like, no, I don't want to die. I'm like, I didn't need that in this movie.
Yeah, and
that was too real.
I did read that was like Tom Holland improv that.
I feel he's really good at that because Rory, you finally saw Spider-Man: Homecoming.
I did,
gave you
yes.
shit for it. And do you remember the scene where he's got all the shit that falls on
Yeah.
top of him in the
Yeah.
warehouse? I feel like that was cool because you never seen a superhero like beg for somebody to come save them because like they're
And
a
I think
superhero.
it was so powerful
That was-
because he really sold it as like, help, like,
Yeah.
and you really felt for him, like he was really in danger, and you could tell he was fearing for his life, and it's the same in this movie.
I'll try to
Great
find
actor.
it later, and I'll send you guys in the group text. That is a very specific scene from the comics, and it's one of it's one of the last ones that Stan Lee did of Spider-Man being buried under all this rubble, and it's like 3 pages of them describing like how his body is like breaking down as he's desperately trying to get all this stuff off of
it was
him
a
as he tries to go
powerful
and save
scene.
someone.
It
So
was
I
really
really
powerful.
enjoyed that scene in Homecoming.
Yeah.
But I guess Tom Holland improving it is why his death for some reason took so much longer than everyone else's.
Yeah.
Well, what was cool is I thought it was weird that his death took a long time, and at first I thought that they were just kind of like playing it up because him and Tony like have this thing, and I thought like you're putting this in for like fan service or to make it like really hit home or whatever. And then, I mean, it's not my thought, so let's credit it to whoever the fuck on Facebook. But I read something on Facebook that was saying, maybe it's a BuzzFeed, whatever, but it was saying that that feeling was because of his spider sense. His spidey sense, like, sense that his death was coming before anybody else. Like, everybody else, when you think about it, was, like, halfway gone before they,
they were like, I
before
just
they
feel
realized,
fine.
like, oh, God, what's happening? And then they're gone.
Except
but
for,
he felt it beforehand and was like, oh God. And then this article, I think it was a BuzzFeed article, anyway, it was saying that maybe his spidey sense let him, like, was having him feel that the universe, half of the universe was dying, and he's like, oh God, like, I don't feel so good. And then it was like coming to him, and that's why he had such a prolonged reaction to it, which made a lot of sense to me, and it made me really change my mind about that scene, because that scene was kind of whatever for me. I thought it was drawn out and dramatic, like, oh, just trying to have this like huge scene because, you know, of their bond in Civil War and Homecoming.
It's hard to say if that's like what they actually wanted, or it's like you go on the internet, someone gives a really good reason for why something happens, and then you're like, that makes sense to me, so I'm gonna take that.
Yeah,
and
but
that's
I
gonna
like
be
that,
like
and
my
I'll
theory.
take it. I'll take it. But if that's
calling
why
back
it was,
to
I think
Reapers.
that's a
Yeah,
really
calling
good-
back to Mass Effect indoctrination theory.
Yep. I buy
Rory,
it.
I'm sorry.
You know,
I'm gonna remove myself from this argument.
if I could go on
I have
an
nothing to say
indoctrination
about this.
theory for a brief second.
Okay, Jose, go.
I remember I had to beat Mass Effect. You and a couple other people that we know that were talking about Mass Effect, and you guys were like trying to figure it out. I'm like, what do you like? In my head for Mass Effect, I'm like, you guys were making it sound so kooky. I'm like, does Shepard drink like a giant growth potion like Alice in Wonderland and like fuck the Reapers up like and squish them in his hands? Like, it just sounded so bizarre to me. I don't know what the fuck was gonna happen.
But
Anyway.
yeah. Anyways, so I don't know if I buy the spider sense explanation.
Yeah.
But that's partially because, other than his hair standing up, which is probably the most like for the current Marvel Cinematic universe, the hair standing up is probably the best way they can do spider sense.
Yeah.
Because they can't do. I don't think they want to
Tobey
do.
Maguire, like, zzz.
Yeah, where it does like the lightning bolts from the head, or like what they did in the original comics.
Yeah.
So it's hard to determine if that was supposed to be anything like spider sense. However, Mantis did have similar premonition when she was about to die, because she did say like something's happening.
Yeah.
So, and she does have special powers that allow her to
I think
sense
it's
it.
just good editing and good director choice that they chose. Like, we're gonna keep this particular cut, and
Yeah.
we're gonna put that into the film.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta say too, with Mantis, like I didn't personally, I didn't care for her in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I was thinking like, how are they gonna use her as like one of the Guardians of the Galaxy now? But I thought like in this movie, like when she was helping like fight with Thanos and stuff,
yeah.
like it actually worked really well. They
Yeah.
kept her very minimal.
They needed to have her though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like her doing the calming thing on Thanos or whatever like that. I was like, that worked like super well. Like I enjoyed her, like quotations, enjoyed her in the movie because
Yeah.
of what she was doing to help like fight.
So, something I was going to talk about earlier. This was a movie where Robert Downey Jr. really earned that percentage he gets off the top of the movies.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was for one scene when he first, like, not during the first meeting, but when he's first trying to figure out the plan with the Guardians. And says, like, I have a plan. And then he turns and Drax is, like, sleeping. He's like, are you sleeping? I'm trying to have a plan. Drax is like, oh, sorry, I passed out. It's like, what do you guys do? And Mantis is like, we take ass and kick names. And
You see him like go blank. He's like,
well, yeah, it's
Okay,
and
fine,
it was. I feel like only Robert Downey Jr. was able to pull that off. I mean, he just has this such extended moment of like, he's just
what
like
am I
accepting
dealing with
it.
here?
Like,
Yeah.
oh, here's what I have to deal with.
this is my situation.
Yeah.
Alright, fuck it.
It was,
I was just gonna say, like Drax, I felt was so fucking funny in this movie.
Oh,
like
God, he
the
was
part
awesome.
where Star Lord and Gamora having like this like really like intimate moments of like you
Yeah.
gotta kill me, like trust me,
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to do it, and they're like, whoa, like bro, where are you? What are you doing? Like how long have you been there? He's like for the last hour. He's like that's creepy. He's like I'm moving so slow.
I'm invisible.
I'm practically
you're
invisible.
you're clearly
My
eating
movies
right
are
now.
And then Mantis comes in, she's like, "Hey, Drax."
And he's like,
He's like,
"Oh,
God damn
"God damn it!"
I was like, man, like Batista like just nailed that role. Like
I like how he's eating while he's doing it.
yeah.
Well,
If
I
you
think Well, I think Batista lucked out with that role because
Yeah.
whereas Rock and John Cena and any other wrestler who's like tried to act, it's been like you have to act in some way. Whereas Drax is like very specifically, no, you can't show emotions.
Yeah.
Even though he is like an emotional person, which one of my personal favorite bits in Guardians of the Galaxy 2
Yeah.
were like character moments with Drax, where him talking with Mantis and he just like he's watching a sunset
Yeah.
and he says how much he's remembering his daughter, and obviously Drax is just like dead faced.
Yeah.
And then Mantis like touches him and she just like
Starts
breaks down crying.
Yeah, that was a really
And then-
powerful moment.
I forgot
Yeah.
about
Yes.
that. I've only seen that movie like once.
It's really good.
It's a powerful moment because that character doesn't show a lot of
Yeah.
emotion, and she reads emotion. So when she touches him and
Yeah.
feels everything that's inside, and she like breaks down and is crying because of
Let's go
all
back
the
and watch
it.
weight that he's carrying.
And
It's a
then-
great moment.
The other moment I really liked, it wasn't like quite as powerful, but it did say a lot to me about how like Drax thinks, was when when Ego is basically absorbing everyone through the like Earth and himself. He's carrying Mantis, who's knocked out at the moment, to the ship, and he starts sinking in the ship. And his first reaction is to just like hold up Mantis above his head because he knows that Ego is only trying to kill him, not Mantis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's holding her up as he's suffocating in the dirt, which I thought was
guess
really
I never
good.
noticed
Oh,
that.
yeah,
That's
wow.
a great,
Huh.
great
Interesting.
call.
That's, yeah.
So, yeah, I think Dave Bautista, it's weird to think that there are 3 wrestlers right now with
Yeah.
movies out, and it's...
Batista's the
And
biggest
Batista-
one.
Yeah, and
the
Batista's
best
the
one.
biggest... Well, I guess in all fairness, Batista's not the main person, whereas Rock
Yeah.
is the main character in his movie. But still, it is weird to say...
Yeah, but he nails it.
Yeah.
I feel like he nails it.
Yeah, he was a great pick for that movie. And if he's not... I guess the next one is I'm going to look forward to seeing Drax again in the next one, because
Yeah.
Thanos is presumably going to be dead by the next one, and I want to see how Drax like deals with that and see if he has any kind of emotional reconciliation, or
Yeah,
if
I
he just
wonder if
doesn't
he
know what
will
to do
still
anymore.
stay with the Guardians, because isn't that his main thing? Is he wants to kill Thanos because Thanos killed like his wife and his daughter,
Yeah.
and like whoever on their
This whole
planet.
planet, yeah.
So I wonder if if Thanos dies, if he will still want to stay with the Guardians for
Oh, I didn't think
whatever
about that.
reason. Maybe that might be a conflict in that movie. Like that would be interesting to watch.
I think he's going to stay with the Guardians, but I think he's going to have one of those character things where he's just gonna be like directionless, and he's like, well, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do now.
Yeah. And then they find reason. And,
yeah. His reasons gonna be just like protecting my new family, which is the Guardians, or something like that. But I still want to see Drax.
But then they'll flip him, and he'll be like the badass for that movie. It'll be very Drax focused.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys? Do you think that Gamora is gonna come back?
Yes.
Now
Really?
I think a lot of those like turning to dust characters are gonna come back, but she was pretty fucking dead.
So
she was pretty dead, and I feel like it would be. I feel like if the dust characters come back, okay, I expect that, which is one of my biggest disappointments in the movie, is like that ending scene where everybody's disappearing. It didn't really hit me. It didn't really hit me so hard, like what Zach said, especially like when all of the Guardians died, like literally all of them, and
Except
Black
Rocket.
Panther, and I'm like, okay, there's no way that they're not gonna make another Black Panther movie.
Yeah.
Like there's no way.
Or another
Obviously
Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, like all these big characters died, and it makes you kind of not take it seriously.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a little disappointing. Like it took away, like
The
I hate
seriousness
sad
of it, yeah.
endings, and I hate
There's no
dying.
consequence, yeah.
But it gave me the feeling like, okay, they're dying, but they're gonna come back. So I left that movie not feeling so sad because
Yeah.
it's like, I know they're gonna come back. But Gamora and Loki, I feel like they really died.
Well,
like they're really not gonna come back.
My whole prediction
What
for
do you
the
guys think
next
about
one
that?
is that the only way they're going to reverse it is they have to get the Infinity Gauntlet and basically just undo, but basically say like, revive everyone that Thanos killed. So that's the people that disintegrated.
The Infinity Stones are just gonna be the Dragon Balls.
That's what I was thinking. It's like
Yeah.
either Infinity Stones or or they have to go get the fucking Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
It's one or the other.
Well, here's my thing. I think, and I'll continue with my pickup. I think Captain America's gonna die, and I think he'll be the one to get the Infinity Stones. But because he's not
Like the
Thanos, I think
Okay.
he'll. Even though the Gauntlet was completely like fucked up by the end of the movie.
Now, did I remember right? I feel like the very end scene, when Thanos is looking out, he's like, "Oh man, I accomplished what I wanted to do."
Yeah.
He wasn't wearing the gauntlet at all.
He still had it.
It got
It
really
was
like
just
it got like
fucked up
fused to
after he
his skin or
snapped his
something.
fingers. It was like fizzling and like
but
smoking
then
or
he
whatever.
disappeared. But like when he was looking at the farm and stuff, his hands were bare. I thought. No?
I
don't
can't
remember now.
specifically
I
remember.
can't
He
remember.
could have taken it off.
You know what I really love is that he's a bad guy that's not like, oh, okay, I killed half of the universe, so time to take over. Like, he really did what he said he was going to do.
Kick back and
Like
have a
retire.
Remember, like in the movie, he was like, I'm just going to sit back
But then, like,
and
what do you do
enjoy
after
what I
that?
do. Like,
Now he
and they
works on-
showed him
now he
just
just
kicking
sits around-
back.
Now he just sits around and works on a farm.
Well, now he's gonna get like curved by Lady Death again. He's gonna like, oh,
Well, I mean,
do
he
it
doesn't-
again.
He doesn't care about Lady Death in this one.
Yeah,
he
which
just,
I-
he
Yeah,
just,
he just
we don't
really-
really know.
He just really thought he
Well,
was
all
saving
we
the
know is
universe.
what he's told us. We don't know if that's
Yeah,
still
we
his
don't know his
motivation.
kinks.
well, but based on what
Yeah.
based on what we saw with Gamora and like Child Gamora, it looks like they're using that to supplement the Death relationship.
Okay. Oh, and real quick on that too, like, and it wasn't even a huge thing. Chris didn't understand it because you didn't watch the first Captain America, but when Red Skull popped up,
Yeah,
I was like,
Okay.
oh,
No,
that's
I
pretty
had no
fucking
idea
cool.
who that
That's
was.
who I thought it was. Okay.
that
Yeah.
was that. I think
It's like
was
the
just
most surprising cameo.
that was basically summarizing the movie as this is the culmination of 10 years.
Yeah.
And that the fact that Red Skull was in there, and maybe it's because Sony's so powerful or Disney is so powerful now, especially with the possible Fox merger. Because that actor said he didn't want to do any more like Marvel movies. But-
Red Skull?
Yeah, but given that was after the first Captain America movie,
Yeah.
before like it really
Now
all,
he's like, you guys are making how much money?
Yeah, I noticed he didn't have his German accent anymore.
yeah.
It's probably
Well-
over
well, I
the
think-
whole, World
like-
War
Well, I
II
think part of
thing.
it was also now that like Disney is so powerful that it's
Yeah.
like now if he wants to get another job, it's like, oh hey, remember when we wanted your help with a project and you refused to do it? Well,
Fuck you, man.
yeah, that's how I feel like some of these. And I did make a joke to one of my other friends of like them killing off all these characters, and I wonder if after they handed the scripts to people and they saw everyone saw who was going to die, they're like, "So I hear your contract negotiation is coming up soon. How do you think this is gonna go?"
Yeah. Real quick to just rewind it back to the beginning of the movie and stuff. I really liked the way they opened the movie. is almost immediately
Oh,
after Thor Ragnarok. They were like, "Hey, we're an Asgardian travel ship or whatever."
So
like,
I thought they were gonna show him like fucking up like the god or whatever, the fire god.
Yeah.
But I like how it was like, all right, the ship just is completely fucked up. He completely skipped Asgard, blew up the ship.
Yeah.
They skipped Xandar too.
Which I'm glad they did. I feel like I didn't need to see that.
Yeah, I guess the Russo brothers did a AMA at like a high school recently, and they said, yeah, that happened off screen because we wanted to save time. And it would have just been repetitive.
Well, I feel like that makes it like just in my mind because I'll just like kind of like when he said like, oh, I went to Xandar and like I took the stone and decimated that place.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that was a really like just verbally it was very powerful. Like it's like holy shit, like they
Oh yeah, I did this thing, no big deal.
So
yeah.
Two things. One, I want to tie back to my original thought of I think Captain America will end up using the Infinity Gauntlet to restore people, but I think because he's not like Thanos, I think that's going to end up killing him. And then he'll just be gone and they'll hide the Infinity Stones.
Is it supposed to harm the user?
Well, you're not supposed to be able to really use many of them.
Thanos is pretty much like the only one who is able to use.
Oh, and because it was made by fucking Peter Dinklage.
Well, it's because
Peter
he's
Dinklage.
it's because
cameo.
he can use it because he's Thanos and because of that gauntlet. Because remember in the first Guardians movie, it took the 5 of them to like handle just one of them.
Yeah.
And if they had held it for any longer, they would have just disintegrated. And then I said I thought Hulk was going to die because I don't think they were going to do anything more with that character.
Oh, he got his shit kicked in.
Well, first off, this completely changed my mind of that like Hulk can now have additional character growth because Bruce Banner like trying to deal with the Hulk in this movie was great.
Yeah.
But also Hulk is now just the Vegeta of this universe of he will be the person who gets his shit kicked in to build up the new guy.
Yeah.
Just because Loki being having that moment of like, oh, we have a Hulk, and then Hulk tackling him, I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. And then Hulk beating up Thanos, like, oh man, he's doing good. And then Evan Ma is just like, oh, let him have his fun. And then Thanos comes in and just boxes the shit out of the Hulk and just puts him down. And he's
but
like,
I like that.
That was
that was in the beginning because then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
this dude's a fucking
Yeah,
badass.
and you can see his like posse is super badass too. Like, what's his name? Something Ma, like
Evan
the guy
Ma.
with the
Did they ever say the names or were you-
telekinesis. My
They
goodness.
said the Maw because when they killed him on the ship,
Yeah.
and he's like, Thanos comes in, he's like, oh, I guess the Maw is dead.
yeah, they didn't really say that. I
That
think
was a disappointing death for a great bad guy.
Dude,
I
he was
feel
so
like his
strong.
telekinesis, it made me feel like fear for the universe.
no, I like that.
For all the heroes that
'Cause,
go
like, you're
against
used to
him,
seeing,
like
like,
when
Doctor
you see him in
Strange.
New York with Doctor Strange and everything, and you're like, oh my god, like Iron Man can't beat him, Doctor Strange can't beat him. Like, what is
I don't know,
going
I like,
on? Who's gonna beat him?
I kind of
keep
like
going.
And he
those
just
like
gets sucked out of a freaking vacuum.
See,
like,
some-
did you see Aliens? Like, come on, that was a super cool bad guy.
I don't know.
Like,
Sometimes I like
disappointing
movie
movie.
scenes like that
I
where
don't
it's just
know.
like
I
it
can
builds up this
appreciate
guy.
it
It's just like,
also.
well, he can still be killed by
It's
being
I
sucked
don't
in
know.
space.
like a
I
character
mean-
flaw almost. Like they thought they were so badass and stuff, and this
For
one
me,
thing like they overlooked.
It felt like he was too powerful, and that was the only feasible way to kill him was a gimmick.
That's
Yeah.
true because he
But-
was too powerful. Like, how could I couldn't see a way. That's what really like frightened me for
Yeah.
like the universe and the heroes is like.
I mean, he was
well,
fucking.
how could you kill that guy?
He was
Like,
fucking
what would
tanking
you
all
do?
the Avengers in New York. Like,
well, not
nothing.
all of them. He was
All the
two
ones
of
that were
them.
up
all
against
the ones that
him.
were there.
Doctor Strange and
Yeah.
Iron Man.
And I mean,
no,
'cause you-
Iron Man and Spider-Man were busy taking on his Black
Alien
Dwarf, I
Hulk.
believe is his name.
Alien Hulk.
But like,
Basically.
because you're used to seeing like Doctor Strange being like the crazy wizard, and this dude's like, nah, fuck your magic,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it was the names are Evan Ma, Black Dwarf was the big guy with the hammer,
Midnight Proxima.
Corby,
Black Dwarf was the reptile.
Proxima Midnight
Oh, sorry.
was the
Proxima
girl,
Midnight was
and
cool.
Corvius, I think his name is Corvius Glaive.
Yeah,
Is
I saw it in the pop figures.
Dude, that
Yeah.
was a total D&D character. Like every
yeah,
single
he
one.
was just
All of them
like
were
an
D&D
orc.
characters. Yeah.
Like a swarm of bees.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll fucking get to that.
And Corvius
just keep
Glaive,
believing.
named after the weapon he uses.
Which I thought was pretty cool, like, because he seemed like kind of a stupid ass character. I'm like, of all the generals or whatever he has, it seems like lame as hell and stuff. But he starts like throwing his axe, and it has like a big old chain on stuff on it.
Oh, that's
And-
Black Dwarf.
Oh, sorry. Okay. But okay, I guess I'm talking about that guy specifically. But like how fast he was moving, he was like counting all the people, like all the different Avengers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like I don't know, I really enjoyed all those characters because I thought like
They had to play him up to be like they're worthy of being like his go-to A-team kind of.
I was a little worried about having like Thanos was like a super cool, like super OP, like bad guy, and I was a little nervous, like, oh, maybe it's a little lame to have his like lackeys like, oh, go after the Infinity Stones, and I thought like the Avengers are gonna fuck these guys up, but they pretty much held their own, except for the what's the lady's name?
Proxima Midnight.
Proxima Midnight, super cool. I
She
love
got,
her.
like, double
I love
teamed.
her. I love her
Triple teamed.
look.
Yeah.
But what really disappointed me is like and Jose. Go ahead and talk about it. Go ahead and talk about it.
Well,
let's go ahead
first
and talk
off,
about it, because
I thought you
it
were
was the
giggling
same.
at triple
No,
teams.
let's go
I
ahead.
was.
No,
just to
but
clarify.
he brought it up, and I also felt the same.
Here's well, two things I'm gonna say about these are the only two complaints I have about this movie. The CG when Bruce Banner is in the Hulkbuster and it's the helmet
awful.
off.
It's awful.
It looks so disproportionate compared to everyone else. I'm like, that looks awful.
Yeah, that I did when that final scene shot of the Avengers was them standing around and Bruce Banner was like, now what? And I looked at him like I couldn't take my eyes off him just because it looked like so weird.
Because his
really
human thing looked way bigger than everybody else who's like the equal distance.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's really weird and super nitpicky, but didn't look good, especially for how much money they have for this fucking movie.
Yeah.
Hulkbuster reminds me of the Space Marines from Warcraft.
StarCraft. StarCraft, yeah.
I did, funny. But I did really enjoy Bruce Banner fighting Black Dwarf and then shoving the Hulkbuster hand on him and be like, bye, and then just like activated it and shoved the guy into the shield until he exploded.
And blew him up. That was cool.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I like that.
And
That was pretty cool.
I liked
cool move.
like pretty much I like that 3 of the 4 Black Order villains died due to environmental damage, basically. Because Evan Maw got sucked down to a spaceship, Black Dwarf got killed by a force
out
field,
of bounds,
and Proxima Midnight got launched into a roving rotating blade.
Yeah.
What's that thing from
Weed
Twisted
Whacker.
Metal? Axel?
I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna call it.
But yeah, Corvius Glaive was the only one who got and Corvius Glaive then got killed by his own weapon.
He was a baller though.
Yeah,
He was pretty fucking cool.
Well, at the expense of Vision, because in this whole movie, Vision looked like pointless.
Vision was such a bitch in this movie.
Vision was a
you talked him up
puss.
so much in the last episode that we did.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, he's gonna fuck things up, and then in this episode,
And then-
because I remember bringing up so if he can make himself intangible, how the fuck are they gonna kill him? And I'm like, oh, you get an invisible guy to stab him when he's not Misty form, and then he can't transform. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, actually, you kind of ruined that character for me.
Yeah.
That's okay though, but I thought it was funny because it totally threw me off when I watched the movie. Because I'm like, dude, this guy, and I specifically referenced in my own head, Zach told me about this guy, but he's a little punk ass bitch. And he's got his shit kicked in.
I would say watch him in Civil War and Ultron.
Yeah, that's true.
In this, because in this, the very specific thing was no, we're just gonna keep him from changing.
Vision.
Yeah, because the specific thing with Vision, this was Corvius Glaive was. We're preventing him from using his main power.
Yeah.
Except for the head beam, which then got deflected back at him. Mm-hmm. So I guess Corvius Glaive was specifically meant to counter Vision in this.
Yeah. So did everyone else just lose their shit for Wakanda? That whole fucking battle scene?
Oh, that was great.
As soon as they were just all lined up,
let me just hold on. Let me just say, when that final scene happened and everyone's fading away, my favorite character was spared. M'Baku.
Who?
Leader of the ape tribe.
Monkey tribe.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, ape tribe. Yes.
I did like how M'Baku during the fight just started the hollering thing. I'm like, M'Baku, this isn't the time to be doing this. Keep fighting people.
I don't know. I just like when they're all lined up and they're chanting, and I'm like, let's fucking do this shit.
Yeah.
I didn't see Black Panther, so I wasn't.
You didn't see Black Panther?
No.
You sickened me.
It's really good.
You sickened me almost as much as Rory sickened me last week when he told me he hadn't seen Civil War Spider-Man.
That's so crazy. That was only last week. I feel like it's been so long because I've been itching to get back and record something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
speaking
I
of,
didn't have super ties to Wakanda. But I like the characters and I like the whole world. I do think that they spent a little bit too much time on Vision just for the I feel like it kind of fell flat. Like they spent a lot of time on Vision.
They were
Vision
trying
with Scarlet Witch. Vision
Yeah.
Well, they had
trying
to
to
play
get
up.
his surgery. Vision
Yeah.
trying to do this and that, and then just for it to just, I don't know.
They had to
me-
play up
me
how
it fell
important
flat.
she was.
And they also had to play up their relationship,
Yeah.
which is
I
a
mean,
big
for
thing
sure,
in the
like
comics.
he had an Infinity Stone.
Like they had
in
2
his
kids
head,
in the
so-
comics.
I do like it how Scarlet Witch finally joins the fight, and then the Wakanda, who's like the leader of the army, the
T'Challa?
bald black chick.
Oh.
She's not the leader of the army. She's
Oh,
the
dude,
leader
she's
of.
Yeah, she's like, where the fuck has this bitch been the whole time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's the leader of Black. She's the leader of the King of Wakanda's like personal guard, basically. The Dora. And I apologize to anyone who's listening to this, and I'm going to butcher this name. The Dora Majala, I think it's like Majale.
That sounds right.
But anyway, I'm almost positive that's not how it's pronounced, but that's the best I can do.
But okay, so one of the things, because Jose just dropped the ball, so like always.
Fucking called out.
So one of the things that was really disappointing for me
I'm
is
glaring
that
at her.
is that Black Order chick, the lady,
Yeah.
what's her name?
Oh.
Proxima
Oh,
Midnight.
Okay, Proxima Midnight. Cool fucking chick, right? Super like OP, fucking everybody up. And then you got Black Widow. And let me just say, ScarJo, she's pretty fucking hot, right? But Black Widow as a character, pretty useless.
We're still waiting on that Black
She
Widow
doesn't-
solo movie.
She doesn't have any power. She doesn't have anything that's like, she's not super strong.
She's got
she's
two
not
little
super anything.
electric-y
Okay,
batons.
but
Yeah,
that's it.
her, she beats this like Dark Order
Well, she didn't beat
badass
her.
motherfucker. Like,
But
It took.
but
Well, it
she
took.
fights
she didn't
up
beat her, but
against
she
her.
was hanging in there,
Well-
like
Hanging in
fist
there,
to
but
fist.
she
Well-
doesn't have
with
any
this like almost
special.
god level.
Well-
She
character.
doesn't have any special powers
So,
or anything. To
I'll
hang with
specifically
these
say this
people.
about that.
It really
during the
bothered
first
me.
during the first fight, she got Proxima Midnight by surprise
Yeah.
with the help of Steve Rogers and the Falcon,
Yeah.
and they were able
Okay.
to fend them off.
That's
and
fine.
then against Proxima Midnight during the battle with Wakanda, it was,
And she was
her
with that
and the
lady.
leader from the Dora Milaje, who is the strongest warrior basically
And
next to
that's
Black
fine,
Panther,
but, like-
and then with Scarlet Witch.
No,
And real
Scarlet
quick,
Witch
if
comes
anyone-
in the end, but they were already beating her, and I'm like,
No,
how do
Black Widow was about to die. Proxima Midnight was on top of her.
Oh, really? I'll have to
Yeah.
go back and watch again. And real quick, for anyone who didn't know, Steve Rogers, Captain America.
Yeah, no one knew that.
everybody knows Steve?
You
Just-
be quiet
just
for the
in
next 5
case.
minutes. But yeah, yeah, I thought Proxima Midnight definitely did have like my favorite design. Out of
She
all those
looked like
guys.
she was from Dragon Age.
She was pretty hot.
Oh, yeah, like a Kunari.
Yeah,
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, Kunari are great.
Oh, damn.
Black Dwarf, I mean, he looked fine. He seemed like really like, oh, I lost my head. Quick, give me a robot one. Sweet, ready for this.
Who's
Black
Who's the big
He's the big
wizard
one.
dude with the scythe axe thing?
Yeah,
What can I think of?
He fought Hulkbuster.
yeah.
Can we talk
Oh, okay,
about?
yeah.
Can we talk about? Okay, so one of the things I'm gonna bring it up so we can talk about it. So one of my favorite things about this movie, and something that I was really concerned about, but it turned out to be okay, is how are you gonna take all these superheroes and make it into a movie where it feels natural
Yeah.
and it feels great? And I thought they did such a good fucking job. Like combining all these superheroes and making them into certain teams that felt very organic, and it felt like their stories and their everything fit, and everybody just meshed so well together, and I thought it was great. So I
Yeah.
feel like we could talk about that, because the one that I really, there was a few that I really loved, but the smartest one and the best one in my opinion, and I want to hear your guys's, but was Doctor Strange and Iron Man.
Yep.
I mean, two guys, very powerful, very egotistical, very like the same character, and you smash them together,
Yeah.
and you get this like butting heads because they're so egotistical. I thought it was such a smart idea to put those two characters together, and I thought it was really fun
Well,
to watch them kind of like battle of like who's got the biggest dick
I like
or
how
who's
they-
more powerful. Like I just thought it was so great.
I don't know if that was
And
my.
then they added the Guardians into that, and that was
I don't know if that
amazing,
was
so
specifically my favorite team up.
That was-
that
I
does
just loved
that that definitely was like my favorite character, one of my favorite character actions.
Okay.
But my other two were Thor and Rocket, just because
Oh, yes.
that was Thor
That's
is somehow
pretty good.
the only person who gave Rocket the opportunity to show like emotional depth of some kind.
Oh yes.
And
I was worried Thor was gonna be like nowhere in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he becomes the most like OP. Just him like
Fucking
showing up,
Stormbreaker.
and then Hulk being like,
Stormbreaker.
I loved him like teleporting using the Bifrost, coming in, and then he just stands up. And you see Hulk. He's like, "Oh man, you guys are toast now." But my other, and just purely a character interaction thing, was Bucky and Rocket Raccoon fighting, and then Bucky just picks up Rocket and like has him both twisted around, and then Rocket's like,
that was the
I
best.
want that arm.
yeah, and Rocket's I don't know what Rocket's
I'll get
obsession
that
with
arm.
having people's limbs is, but
I'll
he's just
get
like,
that arm.
"Hey, how much for that gun? Not for sale. How about the arm?" And then he just walks away, getting that arm.
I'm getting that arm. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, I was telling you through text that the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, which I didn't realize you were going to count for an adventure, was going to have spoilers. The spoiler was that they had a Stormbreaker.
Oh, I already knew about that.
Oh, okay. Well, shit.
Because
I do like how the Stormbreaker, the handle is Groot's arm.
yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
I thought that was pretty
That-
cool.
That was so cool because he was
Yeah.
such like an angsty teen.
I
And then
love
he
how he's
sees
got
it
the
going
fucking
down
Game
and
Boy
he's-
the entire
oh God,
goddamn
it was
I
so
just-
cool.
That was also
That
another
was
one of my
awesome.
like favorite moments of Groot being like, "I am Groot."
Yeah.
I am Groot, and Thor is
I'm
just like,
Groot.
"What do you mean? Just pour out the cup." He's like, "You understand Groot?" Yes, I took Trent in college. It was
Yeah,
like,
that was the best.
I was
when
like,
he was like,
yeah.
you can understand.
I was
Groot."
like, "Wait, so does Guardian colleges require you to take a foreign language too?"
Did anyone look at the credits and see if it was still Vin Diesel?
It's still Vin Diesel.
Really?
Is it?
It's still him in the last movie too.
What's with Vin Diesel and
What
playing
the-
these roles? Like, he played Iron Giant too, and I remember I was asking Chris, totally jokingly one day, she's like, "You know who plays Iron Giant?" I was like, "Let me guess, Vin Diesel as a joke?" And she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, fuck you. Like,
Well-
that's not true."
well,
And she's like,
Vin-
it is. And I looked it up. I was like,
He's
holy
got,
shit,
a,
it
he's
is.
got a
That's
really
right.
good deep voice.
Well, Vin Diesel is also a giant nerd.
yeah.
Vincent Diesel.
Okay,
What?
calm down. Because he's
The
'Cause I kn-
last Witch Hunter was based off of his own D&D character.
yeah, he's got. I didn't
What?
say. I think he's got a tattoo of his D&D character on
Yeah.
his arm.
He has
somewhere.
tattoos?
I think so.
Not a
but
Fast and Furious.
I may be misremembering that. I know he's like super into D&D. though.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
But
And
the other
Warcraft,
thing
too.
is, for anyone who's like listening, go look. Pause this. Go look this up. Vin Diesel selling Street Shark merchandise in the 90s.
Street
But
Shark?
when you pause
Yes.
it,
Really?
do a new tab. Don't get out of this one or I'm going to be pissed
Oh
off.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Street Sharks was like
It's
Ninja Turtles
Oh.
gone
It's
horribly
Vin-
wrong.
It's Vin Diesel like with awkwardly like short, not like short hair like slightly long so it's still hanging. It's short hair like I want to say a fourth of an inch high. And it's just weird to see him and him also being like, check out these characters, check out these toys.
What the?
It's
Dude,
great. I
forgot
recommend
Street
anyone
Sharks
watch
was a
it.
fucking thing.
Well, the entire all 90s was like, oh my gosh, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, quick, we all have to do a Teenage
And then
Mutant
Power
Ninja
Rangers, and then like Beetleborgs, let's go.
Turtles. Yeah. Well,
Oh,
Big.
well, I don't know. I don't know if it was
Beetleborgs.
Beetleborgs or just quick. We all have to import something from Japan.
You guys remember Pogs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Me too. And you would collect slammers and you would play people for their
Oh,
slammers. Like
I
I
their
remember
slammers
they banned
cool,
them. They
like,
banned them
like-
at school
Speaking-
because it was
For
like
mine
child
too.
gambling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like they did with
Then
Yu-Gi-Oh!
you go
Pokemon
like
cards.
behind the fucking like bleachers somewhere, and you're like
Yeah.
fucking gambling for gum and shit.
Yep.
But
Yep.
speaking of the 90s,
My lunch money for pizza. come on.
the end credit scene of Avengers with Captain Marvel being called. First of all, the fact that I was on the pager is like the most 90s communication method I've seen in a long time.
So I didn't know whose symbol that was, and I looked it up instantly after, and then I looked up Captain Marvel, and I'm like, she sounds way too goddamn strong.
well,
Well, that's
what,
kind of
Vision,
the point, I guess.
Vision sounds too strong on paper, but they managed to.
Yeah,
like,
we
do
saw
it.
what happened
What
to
if
Pym.
she just like faded away? What if
Oh,
Well, apparently, that
movie
was, like-
canceled?
Well, that was so. Something I want to say is, when we were talking about Pogs, my first thought when I saw the Captain Marvel preview,
okay.
and when they said,
Wait, is it
like,
a preview for
or-
it?
No, sorry. I mean, like when they like kind of summary of the movie.
Okay.
And they said it's going to take place in the 90s. I'm like, God, I feel old now. I remember when movies used to go back in time. It used to be the 50s,
Yeah.
and now they're going back in time, and they consider the 90s an
That's
acceptable era to go back in time to. I'm like,
That's old
I
now.
grew up during the 90s.
Yeah.
I feel like an old person now.
Yeah.
I mean, I am
20
but
years ago.
Yeah, we're officially old now.
Almost 30 years ago,
Yeah.
when the beginning of the 90s.
I do, yeah, but I do like that Captain Marvel and like all these decades, right? Hey, Captain Marvel, this emergency communication method that you have with Nick Fury. Yeah, it's a pager. Do you want to update that with any alien technology we have? She's like, nah, this is fine.
It's like,
Do
no,
they keep
technology
it
will never
as
advance.
a pager because it's referencing the 90s?
That's what I was
I
thinking.
don't know. That's a
I
bad
think
reason
so.
to keep it as a pager.
And you know, like, I was thinking too,
What
is
if
like,
he's paging back in time?
oh,
Well, if it's with, it'll hopefully be with like the Secret Invasion storyline.
well, I was thinking like with Captain Marvel, like, I mean, I know nothing about her. I tried to look Wikipedia, but then I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to kill it for myself. But I was thinking, like, am I gonna buy the fact that maybe this is gonna be the character that like defeats Thanos and helps save the day or whatever? But I guess about their movies so far, like they've had characters who I didn't know, and they came in and they were pretty badass.
I think that's
and
what
helped
that's
out.
like the timeline is that Captain Marvel comes out and
Yeah.
then they play her up as a badass in her own movie and then she shows up in the new Avengers
Yeah.
and then is kind of like the crux on like how to defeat Thanos or whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or she'll at least be like a big help. Like how
Well-
in Avengers Age of Ultron, there's a scene near the end of it where it is Vision, Iron Man, and Thor.
Okay.
And they're all focusing their beams at the same time on Ultron. And that's how they essentially beat him and like take away his vibranium armor. So I assume there's going to be a similar scene with Captain Marvel where she won't necessarily be the person who like beats Thanos, but she will be integral to the final like blow.
Okay. Interesting.
And hopefully Hulk gets over his stage fright by that time.
Is there like a Hulk 2.0? Like is he like hiding like secret like Super Saiyan powers?
No.
Or is it just he finally becomes the Hulk and now he's
I
like
think
in
I think
full
he's just
control
like
of his like split personality or some shit.
no, I think he's just embarrassed. Well, there is a Hulk
You think he's scared of
2.0.
Thanos?
I think he's
He's
embarrassed.
scared, I think.
He's not the biggest baddest motherfucker anymore.
I think if you built yourself around going around saying Hulk is strongest there is, and then someone beats the shit out of you in 5 seconds, you're suddenly like, well,
You're pretty
I feel
scared.
kind of awkward now. But there is technically a Hulk 2.0, and the closest they got was in Thor Ragnarok, where Hulk was fully like talking and communicating.
Oh, okay.
But in the fully realized form is where he has full act. It's him and Bruce Banner is like one person, so he's now as smart as Bruce Banner is, which in the comics is as
Basically,
much.
he turns into Thanos.
I think like
Like
well,
he's super smart, super fucking strong.
yeah,
Okay.
but
Green and purple.
I mean it is a bigger deal in the comics because they specifically say like Bruce Banner is. I want to say he's. I don't know. I feel like this list changes a lot, but I think he's listed as like the 4th smartest person on the planet.
Bruce Banner?
Yeah,
Okay.
Who's the first?
Mr. Fantastic. I think Doctor Doom is.
Who's Mr. Fantastic?
Fantastic Four.
Oh, fuck them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
He becomes
now that
stretchy.
if that Fox deal goes through, Doctor Doom could be the next
That
big
last-
villain.
the-
No, I
First
freaking
Fantastic
hope
Four movie was garbage. I
Hey,
hate
Doctor Doom in the comics is fucking great. He's a great villain. In the movies, he's pretty shit.
not.
But
I feel like
let
it
me-
can go
let-
one way or the other.
He was
Well,
the guy from what's that doctor show?
I've
Plastic
put it out of my mind.
Scrubs?
No, I know.
Grey's Anatomy?
No,
No,
it was the FX show that.
Fuck, what's it
It was-
called?
it was like
Nip
the-
Tuck.
Yeah,
Yes.
Nip Tuck. Yeah, it was like the prelude to American Horror Story almost.
Nip Tuck?
Yeah, he was
That
from.
guy was Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he was not.
But anyways,
Yes.
I will say there are some great Doctor Doom moments. But one of the biggest ones is in Wakanda there's that big like panther statue, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's Boss, if I remember correctly, who's their like panther god. And there are times where they specifically communicate with him, and it's usually Black Panther who does it. So what happens at one point is Doctor Doom goes to meet like Boss and I can't even remember why, but Boss is basically saying like, "Oh, you want me to team up with you? Like, do you really think you're worthy of that?" And Doctor Doom's like, "Yeah, I am." And then he like communes with Boss, and then at the very end of it, Black Panther is trying to like figure out what's going on, and Doctor Doom comes out, and Boss is on Doctor Doom's side, and Boss is like, yeah, I looked into like all these different futures. The only future where everyone survives is the one where he wins. So yes, I'm backing Doctor Doom.
Huh.
So
that's the kind of same thing that happened in this movie where Doctor Strange is like, I've seen,
What's
4
up with
million things.
Smart doctors, huh?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking...
Well, usually doctors are like evil characters.
Because
right?
it seemed
like
kind
Dr.
of ridiculous
Octopus,
when
Dr.
he gave
Doom?
the Infinity
Except
Stone
not Doctor
away.
Except not Doctor Strange, I guess.
I don't
Sorry.
know. It seemed kind of like strange when he gave the Infinity Stone away. Right?
Yeah, I think when I got out of that and we were talking about that has to be whatever that one...
The one thing is, right? Because he said, like, it has to be this way.
Yeah,
because he's too smart, like, to...
Well, if he saw every possible...
He did my job. He's basically like, I want this outcome. I saw this outcome once. What's the one thing that changed it?
Well, that makes me wonder if Star-Lord actually screwed up.
Well, of course he fucking screwed up.
Well,
of course.
Or did Doctor Strange say, "Hey everyone, here's exactly what you need to be doing."
Yeah.
Maybe because
so.
Thanos needed to like get all those Infinity Stones and have the whole thing like for it to actually
because
he needs to be like taken out of that like on edge element. Like I finally succeeded.
Well, yeah, and you also have to think of it this way, like
puts him in a weak spot.
When they have this plan, which Iron Man and Spider-Man were working together to like try and pull off the gauntlet, which didn't look like it was coming off, but then when Thanos finally woke up, you saw that thing was like about to finally come off his head. But if Thanos didn't go through all that and almost killing and basically killing Iron Man, would he have really believed Doctor Strange when he gave him the Time Stone?
Yeah.
Because if he didn't go through work, like if Doctor Strange was like, "Oh, I got beat up. Here's the Time Stone," and then I don't know if Thanos would have necessarily believed that there wasn't like some trickery behind it, because Loki already tried to trick him.
Yeah,
didn't work.
Yeah,
and I'm wondering too, with how powerful Doctor Strange is compared to how he was in the first movie. Do you think like the next Doctor Strange movie, are they making one? Do they have anything planned?
I don't know anything about. I don't know anything past the next Avengers.
I hope they do.
Yeah, because I'm wondering if they'll show how. Because I mean, he's a Sorcerer Supreme now. Do they show how he got that powerful? Because he is like 10 times as powerful as he was at the end of the first.
It was really awesome to see him in this movie as compared to his last movie. Like, wow.
I mean, it's just him like studying, because that's basically all he does. Is study.
I'm just curious about that.
He did use the something I really liked, and I assume this is what they were, but the chains of cryotech, I think is how you pronounce it. It was those red bands that came out of the ground and like strapped down Thanos. So, and cryotech, for everyone uninitiated who's not a massive comic book nerd, cryotech is the basically patron god of Juggernaut. Because in the comics,
X-Men?
Yeah, because in the comics, Juggernaut's powers are mystical in nature, and he gets them from this god called Cryotech, who's specifically supposed to be unstoppable. So the bands of Cryotech are supposed to be like unbreakable bindings, essentially.
What the hell?
But that was just a little like side piece of nugget of information.
Interesting. Okay.
So I mean, maybe Avengers 4 will end with them rebooting the universe, and then all of a sudden, like, Wolverine will just be walking around like, "Hey guys, I'm here now."
But even gets Hugh Jackman who does it.
No,
I think
I don't.
They might cameo him in, but I don't think he's ever gonna do a full feature film again.
If anything, I would want him to be a cameo in the suit, because he said he'll do the part again if he can like do that. But
like the yellow and blue or black suit.
Yeah, the yellow and black suit. Yeah,
he just doesn't want to be like ripped anymore.
Well, because it's not healthy for him at this point to keep doing that.
How old is he?
Like, he's
probably like late 40s.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You remember how Triple H looked at the WrestleMania? You can't keep up that look.
But I mean, like, 'cause you remember seeing him in the original X-Men?
Oh yeah, he looked kind of like
he was kind of thin. He wasn't chubby. He was just thin.
Schlubby.
He was thinner, and then like you could see him just getting more and more ripped.
Yeah.
But like between roles, like from where he was in Logan.
Yeah, he was like
Logan. It was the Japanese one.
I never saw
the Wolverine.
The Wolverine.
So he was fucking yoked as shit. Now.
Yeah.
And like from where he was before to get to that, that's steroids. Like there's no other way.
Well, no, because like Christian Bale's the same way. Like
he'll yo-yo, but he's never gotten like ripped like that.
Well, but did you see him in? Oh God, what was that movie? It's the movie where he gets like emaciated.
Yeah, I think it's like The Mechanic or The Machinist. Or
Yeah,
something like
that. And they does like another Batman movie. And it's just like that's not healthy.
And then he did another movie, I think, in the last couple of years where he got like really big, actually.
Yeah, he got fat or something like that.
I wasn't gonna say that. I was just gonna say really
Christian
big.
Bale?
Yeah.
Well, fat. Well,
Like,
fat.
he had like a double chin.
Well,
basically.
fat for Christian
never
Bale.
did anything after Dark Knight Rises.
But
It wasn't a Dark Knight movie.
so for
Who's to say?
for the
Fat
X-Men, I honestly think they shouldn't cast another male Wolverine.
Yeah.
Because they can't do
Male Wolverine.
Well,
Spoilers.
Laura X-23 is a thing.
Oh, okay. X-23.
Oh, okay.
So they could always just like if they like do reboot the universe, because I'm sure they've got a version of Avengers 4 that somehow has like, let's leave something in so we can explain why there are suddenly X-Men now that we own Fox. Because like they did that in Civil War. Like they said they created an alternate version of the script to include Spider-Man in case they had the opportunity to use Spider-Man.
Interesting.
So I'm sure
That
there's
was awesome.
so yeah, so I'm sure they have even like their like 20-year plan or whatever it is. I'm sure they've got two alternate versions where here's if we don't get Fox movies, here's if we do get it, and I'm sure they've got different movies.
I feel
planned
like
out.
I don't want them messing X-Men with the universe that
Well-
they created.
well, I
Like,
just don't-
because the X-Men universe is kind of like
I feel like
started
there's
off
too many
okay, now
superheroes.
it's all
Yeah.
like convoluted and like I don't really
Well,
like it. Like
I'm
I'm good with the ones that I like.
I don't know. I'd be perfectly fine with them like rebooting the X-Men universe. I think Deadpool they keep separate.
I'd be fine
Yeah.
with them rebooting. Yes.
Yeah, so
Like,
yeah, I think they'll just reboot it. I don't think they'll have it be like I'm like Cyclops, Jean Grey, and everyone will like be back as like new characters.
Because I liked X-Men First Class, like I liked them trying to reboot it in that way, but then like the other ones that
Yeah,
came
I'm so
after that,
Yeah. Well, Days of Future Past was great.
Days of Future Past was great, but then
And then
whatever
Age of
was after
Ultron.
that,
Second
X-Men
one?
Apocalypse.
I didn't care for that one. Wait.
That was
Yes,
the
you
second
did.
one.
Yes, you did.
Age of Apocalypse is probably the one you're thinking of.
Well, I
that
didn't.
one
did
was
like
that one
it.
was
You
garbage.
liked Days of Future Past, and you
I'm gonna
liked.
say it wasn't that
No,
good,
you
though,
saw
either.
Apocalypse in the theater and you hated it.
Well, yeah.
No, but Days of Future Past, you liked it.
The second
Yes.
one?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah, so anyways, I think they should do Laura
But I don't know
as
about them mixing it.
I think they should do Laura as the next Wolverine because she's been pretty well received in the comics from my understandings as because standard Wolverine has been gone for he's starting to come back now, but he's been gone for about a year and a half. I want to say.
No, they can't. I feel like if you tried to reboot Wolverine with somebody other than Hugh Jackman, like you're just basically.
Well,
You would
Well,
have
that's
to
why-
reboot it like
Anyway.
20 years down the line.
Well, that's
what I'm
why-
saying, so,
reimagine
you
the
doing
character.
it as a female is pretty. I
think-
feel like that works.
I
Like
think
because
that's the only-
nobody's gonna
Because right now we're
adapt to
rebooting it as the comic book, and the comic books are super fucking dated.
Yeah.
So now you have Wolverine as Hugh Jackman or whatever, and like 20 years from now, how are you really gonna change it up?
Yeah.
How is it gonna really be different?
Yeah.
Well,
Gender bender. That's the only option.
Well, 'cause-
imagine, like, all these
well,
rebooting
what's the rule
of
for that?
Spider-Man,
well,
Yeah.
Like
X.
it's all the same.
Well, because X-23 is like a thing. She's been
So
like the
hopefully-
Wolverine comic book lead character for the past year and a half.
Okay.
But there's also been like, okay, hold on, because so right now there's for all the people who've been like titled Wolverine, there's Laura who's X-23 who's
Yeah.
Wolverine's like imperfect clone.
Okay.
There's Dakin who's Wolverine's son that he had with his Japanese wife or mistress or whatever. There's James,
Damn.
who is Wolverine, who is an alternate realities Wolverine's son from
Don't care.
the Ultimate Universe.
Don't care.
There's Gabby, who is Laura's imperfect clone,
Comic books are weird.
Yes.
Yeah,
very
I can't read
weird.
comic books.
And then there is an android Wolverine, which is more or less just a callback to a storyline from like the early 90s. But
Comic books are crazy.
yes, they are. They're very convoluted.
I don't know about them.
But counterpoint, comic books are amazing. But anyways, I think Laura is the only one they could, because I mean everyone like, and I think I can speak for the table here.
Okay.
I think everyone loved Laura and Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Dude,
good.
Logan was freaking awesome.
So I think if Fox
I love
did
it.
this,
It was so not dark.
It
But
wasn't-
was darker.
yeah, it wasn't.
And a lot more grounded in reality.
It was more of like it was more of like
There
a
was,
western.
no sense of like it was like that sense of despair the entire time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's why I think if Disney somehow rebooted Wolverine with Laura, I think people would be a lot more open to it than, hey, here's our Hugh Jackman replacement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
and that, I mean, they're gonna run the same problem with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Because
I
I think
don't know. I don't want anyone else being Iron Man.
Well,
Iron
I don't
Man
know.
should die.
Yeah.
Well,
just
kill
get rid of
him,
completely.
Wrap a bow on it, and he will be forever loved.
well, I think if anything they'll do
Pepper
have
Potts.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
well, because there was a female Iron Man, but she hasn't been. But
Never will
she
be the same.
she has not been received nearly as well as Laura.
What
She's
did
a
you guys
female.
think about the Iron Spider suit?
It was
That was pretty badass.
Yeah,
Fucking
I'm just
cool,
wondering how they're gonna
right?
write it out for the next Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, he can't have that. That thing's too overpowered, I feel like.
It's like how
awesome.
during the final fight with the Vulture, he got rid of the original suit. He didn't have that new fancy suit.
Yeah.
He just had his regular stuff.
The Iron
yeah.
Spider suit was
Yeah.
amazing. I really
I think he
loved
should
it.
give every Avenger their own suit.
Well, here's why I hope Thor is going to do, and he probably won't.
He doesn't need a suit.
No, but
No, he needs to just be
No,
naked.
I
no,
Thor.
That's what I
here's what I want
Naked.
Thor to do, because
You
they
agree,
did.
Rory?
No, I don't like
They did do something similar in the comics at one point, but Thor now has access to an ancient dwarven weaponsmith, and he could be like, "Hey guys, time to get new weapons for everyone. Let's go. I need to show you something."
Ooh, I didn't
And-
think of that.
And be naked.
Because they
No.
did that in comic books
Yes, naked.
during the
ScarJo?
At least Thor.
Yeah, Scarjo, what up?
Captain
ScarJo.
America.
But yeah, they gave like Iron Man a completely new suit of Uru, which is the metal the axe is made of.
Star Lord.
Uru infused armor, which is inherently like magic
Thanos, he could be
resistant.
naked. I don't mind.
So, I don't think they'll do it, but I think it would be fun if he was like,
Swinging purple.
"Hey, time to get you a new shield, Cap." But
Big old limb.
I did think that was. I did think it was really stupid of like Black Panther to be like, "Hey, get this man a shield." Oh, should
we
we?
the two fangs only?
Yeah. Well,
Those were fucking cool.
well, no, I thought they were cool, but I thought for Captain America specifically being like, "Hey, let's get him a shield." Oh, you mean one that bounces around? No, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Not what he used it for all the time. Just give him stuff that
Yeah,
stays
why
on his
couldn't
arms.
they made that?
Yeah,
They didn't have it on hand.
well for Black Panther, who had an arm ready
Time
for
was of the
Bucky,
essence.
he had an arm ready for Bucky. I had to assume he'd be like, "Hey, just in case."
Bucky was there for a while, though.
He was, yeah.
He also knew about Cap for a long time. I was never like, "Nah, he'll probably never need a shield again."
But
I'm actually, I should. No, that's gonna happen in the next movie.
What,
Iron Man's
Black
going to-
Panther, or-
No, Iron Man's gonna definitely give Captain America his shield back in the next movie.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it now that I'm realizing, like, those two never connected again in
Yeah.
that movie.
Oh, okay. So can we segue
Huds, maybe.
into what are your predictions for Avengers 4?
Captain America and Iron Man die.
Okay, and like let's talk about it
Everyone-
because it's coming out a year from now, right?
Yes.
May 3rd?
Yeah, I mean,
They have a
sometime
date for it?
Yeah, they do. It's
Oh,
like
shit.
I think it's May 3rd. I don't know. Somebody's gonna
I'm-
fact check that right
here's-
now, but it's
it's basically exactly a year away.
Yeah,
it's basically a year away.
Well,
so they
because-
filmed these movies back to back.
yeah.
They pulled a Harry Potter.
They really did.
Well, and
So-
Ant-Man and Captain Marvel are both flashbacks technically.
Okay.
Yeah, and those
Yeah.
two are the only Marvel movies pretty much that are coming out this year, and they're
Before that movie?
flashbacks, so they
Before-
can't.
yeah.
They're not in the
Holy shit.
timeline from right now. So pretty much they're set before this
Yeah.
Infinity War.
Yeah, because Captain America will take place in the 90s, and Ant-Man is just going to take place.
So Avengers 4 is the next the next chronological movie.
Gotcha.
So I want to know, what are your guys' opinions? I think everybody wants to hear it. So let's go around the table here, and let's talk about it. And Zach, you can go first. Let's go.
I think everyone will get revived because I don't think death matters in Marvel movies.
Wait, everyone?
Yes.
Or all the death people?
Including Loki, Heimdall, and Gamora.
Wow.
But I think Loki, they'll specifically won't show him getting revived. I think it'll just be one of those things that they can leave open for the future. Because I heard Tom Hiddleston is also kind of like over it. But at the same...
Yeah, well, but if I'm making this much fucking money, I don't care.
Oh yeah, that's the other. Well, Captain America's contract is supposedly not being renewed, so.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But
he's over it too.
By choice, though, or
what?
Anyway.
By choice? Like Chris Evans, is like I don't want to do it anymore, or they're just like we don't want to make it anymore. Oh, okay.
But, so, and in lieu of that, I think just because it did happen in the comics, I want to see Bucky become Captain America, because Falcon also became Captain America in the comics, but I like Falcon the way he is in the in the movie.
Falcon,
he wasn't that
become Iron Man, but he's kind of old already.
Well, I didn't like Falcon as Captain America in the comics. Bucky feels more like a natural progression. I'd rather Falcon keep being Falcon because I like him as that character.
I'm sorry, not Falcon. Who am I thinking of? That's Captain America's friend.
Falcon.
Bucky. Falcon.
The Winter Soldier.
No.
War Machine.
War Machine. That's
War Machine isn't Captain America's friend. He's Iron Man's friend.
No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Iron Man.
Yeah.
Who was it before Don Cheadle?
That's Iron Man's friend.
Oh, that
War
one.
Machine, right?
Like evil
the older guy.
He looks naturally evil.
The older guy, War Machine.
He lives in Big Mama's house.
Oh yes. Sorry. Speaking of War Machine, like Don Cheadle specifically looked like really like old and like skinny in this movie.
Super old.
And I don't know why.
That's why I said
He's
like maybe he'll take over for Iron Man, but I don't know.
Well, I don't think they're gonna be doing any more Captain America or Iron Man movies. I still haven't seen it slated.
So that's your prediction, right?
So usually
so
no deaths, everything is reversed.
Well, I think Captain America and Iron Man do die.
Okay,
and I think that's to wrap up those characters, and then Bucky becomes the next Captain America. And then everyone gets revived because Asgard is no longer an extinct race, I guess.
Okay.
But Loki, they do not specifically show being revived. They'll just show Heimdall being back, and that will be the audience's way of being like, oh, so Loki
probably
is theoretically all still around, but he's not necessarily going to come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Jose, what do you think?
Let's go with Jose.
Let me see. For deaths, I think I'm still thinking Captain America for the next movie. I think he's gonna have something. He sacrificed himself that he's just gonna be gone. Besides him, I think Vision is still gone. I think because of the whole Infinity Stone thing, I think that he's just gonna be like just gone. Even though they said that, you know, he's a part of Bruce Banner, Tony Stark, the Stone, and whatever the hell
Ultron.
else. Ultron, yeah. I think.
Oh, and Jarvis.
Yeah.
Just to mention, in the comics, he's never been powered by an Infinity Stone. He was powered by something called like a solar gem, I think.
So that's new to the movies.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think he's gone though. And my last prediction, I'm gonna go with 3 on this. I think Thor. I'm still going to Thor. I think he's gone. But
not just your deaths, but what do you think's gonna happen? Like,
I don't know. I'm so bad at predicting things. Like I was saying, even with this movie, I'm like, I have no clue what's gonna happen. The only thing I predicted right was that they're gonna start off immediately after Thor Ragnarok. But that was such a guess that I was like, I'm gonna be wrong on that.
Dude, that was awesome though. That fucking opening where you just hear and you see the Marvel Studios with the 10 in it, and you just hear him like.
Yeah, I think it was the fact that it was Loki sending out the distress call.
Like, we have women and children.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's who it was, right? That was Loki sending out the distress call. It didn't sound like Chris Hemsworth.
I thought it was.
And Loki was the only person who was not like dead.
I just thought that scene was really I don't know. It was powerful. It was really good.
Also during that AMA, the Russo brothers did also say that Valkyrie is still alive.
Well, who's Valkyrie?
Yeah,
She was the drunk. She was the drunk chick
drunk
from
lady
Thor
in,
Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok.
Oh,
She was pretty
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
cool, man.
Yeah.
Like,
She was pretty
pretty cool.
So
I
they
was
said
really
she's still alive.
I was
somehow.
pretty disappointed to not see her in this movie at all.
Or Korg.
Oh yeah, what the hell?
Aw,
Or
Wait, is
Meek.
it-
that's the best.
Yeah, Korg or Meek.
Or what about Mick?
Meek.
Meek.
This is my best friend Mick.
Oh,
man.
he was already dead.
Hey, man.
He's an
No, he was
nice for
alive at the
hands.
end of Ragnarok.
No, Meek.
Okay, Rory,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Well, no, because I thought there was another guy, Mick, that he kept saying like, "Oh yeah, ask Mick. Where's Mick? Oh, he's dead. He died a
Oh,
week
maybe
ago."
there was. Yeah. So Rory, who do you think will stay dead?
Yeah, but your
or
predictions.
I don't think anyone's gonna stay dead. I think they're gonna revive everyone. I think they're gonna
All
get
of
the
them?
Infinity Gauntlet,
Okay.
and they're gonna go whole Dragon Ball Z, revive everyone that Thanos killed, and then there's gonna be some sort of clause like you have to give up something that you care about, right? For what was this? What was the stone?
Red Skull will show up again
The
and be
Soul
like,
Stone?
"Sorry
The Soul
guys."
Stone, yeah.
Yeah.
So someone's gonna sacrifice themselves to like flip everything back to where it was.
All right.
I don't know who it's gonna be. I wouldn't be surprised
I
if it
think so.
was
Good
Captain
idea.
America. I want to say Iron Man or Doctor Strange, but I don't think that they're gonna kill them off yet.
Well, if it has to do with the time stone, it
I'm
might also
thinking
just
Captain.
be like reverse
Captain America?
something up
Okay.
to a certain point. Ooh, maybe it's just like we're gonna reverse this before Xandar got overtaken, and I'll just show up there and beat up Thanos.
Remix.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I think the second one is basically gonna be like, okay, we're gonna have to fucking get the gauntlet and then reverse it
Okay.
somehow. That's the overarching storyline that I'm going for. That's what I got. That's it. That's it.
What about you, Kristen? Any opinions?
Okay, so what I think for the next movie is, if you notice, with all the people, and there was a lot of people that disintegrated and disappeared, but who didn't disappear was the original Avengers, right? And who you didn't see together in this movie with all their team-ups was the original Avengers, right? Black Widow, Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America,
And Hawkeye.
Thor, and Hawkeye, right?
I've seen
Like,
some
you
candids
didn't-
of Hawkeye
like,
on
so
set.
you didn't
Oh,
see
really?
all
Interesting.
those Avengers, original Avengers together, right? So I
Yeah.
think original Avengers assemble. They go after they go after Thanos. Somehow they have to get the Infinity Gauntlet. I think all of them are gonna sacrifice themselves. I think all of them are gonna die.
Wow.
I
Okay.
I just
think
want
that all of them will die. And to bring all the rest of them back. And that's what I think.
I just
Now,
want
I think that Loki and Gamora, I think they're dead. I think, and whoever the fuck he is.
Heimdall.
Heimdall. I think that those people
Idris
are
Elba.
for sure dead. Like, I don't think that they will come back.
What about Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel, I think that she's gonna help.
She's gonna
them.
die already.
I think that
She's
she's
sacrificed.
gonna come back and help the Avengers, like, get Thanos and like help them find him or defeat them or something, and she'll stick around. But I think that the original Avengers are gonna die because, and when you think about it, it's true. Like, they're getting older, right? They're
True.
all like, they're all getting older. They're all like ready to kind of be sacrificed for the world, like, so that this new Marvel universe can go forward with the Black Panther and the Guardians of the Galaxy and all this stuff. Like, but is there really going to be a new Iron Man movie? I don't think so.
No.
Is there really going to be a new Captain America movie? No, I don't think. Hulk? No, I don't think so. Black Widow, sure, but it might be a prequel. I really think that Avengers assemble, Avengers sacrifice, so that the world and the universe can like get its shit back. That's my opinion.
Are they trying to wrap up the Avengers with the next one?
That's just my opinion. I think that the original Avengers are going to be done.
Because I think that would be a good way to wrap it up if they don't
Oh,
continue.
Yeah.
Well, I do
if
too.
they don't continue pushing it forward.
I think that that's gonna be the way that they finish it with the original Avengers, in my opinion.
What's Captain America's actor? Chris
Evans.
Chris Evans.
Mhm.
So Robert Downey Jr. definitely
Done.
too old.
Yeah.
Needs to be
Just
out
now
there.
she's like 50
But
something.
Chris Evans, I know, is kind of like over it. I think he really wants to do like production and directing.
Oh, okay.
I think that's
like
his
I really want to do indie movies from now on.
Well, because he said I think he said this before when
600 Days of Summer.
Well, I think he said it before, and then and then he produced Snowpiercer, and then that flopped, and then he was like, maybe I could still be Captain America. But I think he wants to be more of a director type thing.
Okay.
But Chris Hemsworth and Chris Evans are only mid-30s.
Yeah.
It's not like they're. I mean, how long did Hugh Jackman be Wolverine for?
Yeah.
but it's almost the same.
Well, for Robert Downey Jr., yeah, like he's. But Robert Downey Jr. also doesn't have the physical requirements of Hugh Jackman.
True.
Of, hey, Hugh, we need your shirt off for this scene. Make sure you're ready.
Yeah.
I did think that was something I did want to touch on that I guess they didn't really talk about in the movie too much.
Yeah.
Probably because they just wanted to hand wave it. Is I guess the Iron Man suits are basically Tony Stark's like addiction in the movie. Because he
kept having to build them like he wanted to, right?
Well, he always wanted to be better, or like just have more for different.
Well, he just wanted to keep
situations.
improving.
Okay.
And then he finally got the thing removed, and then this movie's like he doesn't have like the full thing implanted, but he's got it back on because he wants to wear it at all times. Because he's like, oh, I want to be ready just in case. And I know in the comics he does have a very serious alcohol problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they said in the movies they were never going to touch on that because
Yeah, so I'm wondering if the Iron Man suits, without directly saying it, are kind of his thing.
His like
addiction.
You can't
his obsession.
Yeah.
If you want to say.
Okay.
So, because the closest they got to showing that alcohol problem was Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Where he had the party in the Iron Man suit, was just drinking and showing off like the repulsor blasts and stuff.
Yeah.
But so I guess I don't know if he won't necessarily die. Maybe it's just him finally getting over the need to be Iron Man. But then he could still like be around and be like, hey, I'm not gonna be Iron Man. I'm just gonna be delivering witty one-liners and helping with science. But I don't know. Just because of how much they've now built up Thor, especially with Stormbreaker and him being the one who can fight.
But I mean, who's he gonna fight after this?
More
That's what
gods.
I'm saying. I really think that they're
He's
gonna.
gonna fight
that
Surtur.
The Avengers are dead.
Well, he didn't beat
I
him
think
last
that
time.
Valkyrie might take over for Thor, and like there's
but a female
Falcon,
Thor, yeah, that might make sense.
or a Bucky that will
fe-
take over for Captain America.
Well,
and
female Thor
there's-
was the other one who has been very well received, though her
I saw a
run,
picture. He looked pretty hot.
her run in the comics did just end. Do you
Taylor
know?
Or like
Swift
Captain
for female
Marvel
Thor.
will take over
Well-
for Captain America or
well,
whoever the
it could
fuck.
just be a
But
big
I
shift in
really just think that it's
everything.
gonna be a big shift in like
Well, quick
the
question.
characters.
Yeah.
that are-
Do you know who female Thor is?
No.
No, but
I've
if
met
I was
female
casting her, it would be Taylor Swift.
No.
It's Jane Foster.
I don't like her.
Who?
Taylor
What?
Swift.
Jane Foster was Thor's girlfriend in the first two Thors.
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman?
Yeah.
Oh, but Natalie Portman.
I mean,
had
it, won't,
issues
it, won't,
before
it obviously
movies.
wouldn't be her.
Yeah,
because
I don't
she's
like
done
it.
with it.
I don't like.
Well,
it.
in the comics, so that was who female.
Yeah,
Thor
no,
was.
Yeah.
no
And
Nike for.
It's like it's really sad in the comics too because she has cancer in the comics
Oh wow.
and she's going to chemo.
Oh, no.
But when she turns into Thor, it like
Goes
because chemo is essentially like poison.
Yeah.
And when she turns into Thor, it wipes out all the poison from her system. So when she turns into Thor, it like wipes out all of her chemo progress.
Damn.
So she didn't die. She basically died
That's
recently.
dark.
And
Yeah.
then she came back. It was
Sad.
like, hey, now I don't have to be Thor anymore. Now I can maybe heal myself finally.
Huh.
But anyways, that was the whole. She just ended her run.
Okay.
as
Well,
Thor.
do we have any more Avengers talk at all?
I think we
We're
about
getting there.
covered every.
Yeah,
we
I
ran
think
along on
I
this
think
one.
that's about it for
Yeah.
this
Alright.
one.
Do we
I
want to
don't
keep
know.
going
I
with
think it was
the
awesome.
D&D stuff, or we wanna
I think
call
we
it
should.
for now?
I think we should save that for.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can save it for the next episode.
Okay.
Go on.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
this one ran kind of long, but I think it was a pretty constructive discussion.
I think so.
I mean, I'll talk about Avengers and theories as long as you need me to.
We know.
Avengers, I think Infinity War, best Marvel movie I've seen.
Yeah. Well, real quick too,
Perfect.
before we conclude the episode, I saw this one thing online, and I went ahead and did it myself already. But if everyone has their phones, I'd like you all to do it too.
Okay.
So Chris, please go grab your phone.
First one,
Alright,
I'll
I'm
have
going.
phones.
So I saw this thing, and surprisingly enough, it was on like CNET, I think. And it was didthanoskillme.com.
Oh.
So you go on this website, and it tells you if you were spared by Thanos as soon as he snapped his
I
fingers.
saw that.
Yeah, you know, he said that was indiscriminate, but then like 5 of the 6 Guardians died, and I had to think there was some feeling behind it.
Like, I don't know about
I think
this.
that everybody will just die. So
Okay.
it's CNN?
So,
CNET,
no, go to,
CNET.
no,
Did
go to
Thanos
didthanoskillme.me.
No, didthanoskill.me.
Oh yeah, didthanoskill.me.
No refreshing this shit either.
Okay, so do we just go to it and it'll say?
Just go to, yeah. So let's see. Right, then pause there.
My reception in here is like awful, so I don't know how long it's gonna
I'll
take.
connect to the Wi-Fi. I got pretty good reception.
Did Thanos kill?
Okay, I got
Dot
it.
me.
Alright.
All right.
Okay,
Wait,
everyone.
So who wants to go
Chris
first?
is not there yet. I say we do a quick draw, like on 3.
Okay.
Well,
Wait,
because
will
then we'll
everyone-
just all be talking over each other. No one will hear anything.
Ah!
All right.
Okay.
well,
Okay. Well. Okay. Okay. How about you?
You already know
How about
mine.
you just go
You already
first?
know
'cause
mine.
yeah.
Thanos. You were slain by Thanos for the good of the universe.
Zach?
Sorry, Chris.
I was spared.
Fuck.
I was spared.
You were spared by Thanos.
Ah,
We can
Chris.
continue the podcast.
Boys rule.
Yeah.
Rule.
That's it.
So we continued on with only 3 hosts.
Sorry, special guest. You're being let
That's
go.
like your special guest.
Sorry, y'all.
Anyway, I thought it was a fun little
I
thing. I
did-
saved it for.
I did forget to mention that Thanos was our sponsor. So Kristen, I'm afraid we can't have you on anymore.
God damn it.
Mm-hmm.
He's my boyfriend, too. How could he?
And real quick, what I'm gonna say too. Here's how we had such a boner for Thanos that like I think it was yesterday we kept sending each other different Thanos like gifts and like images and stuff. And here's what
I
we're
was a
doing.
part of that because you guys were probably trying to be nice to me.
Yeah.
Well,
Quick word before we end it.
Yeah.
I do want to say that having now seen Avengers Infinity War, my greatest appreciation for the movie is I'm now free to go on the internet without being terrified of everything I
yes,
see being a spoiler.
that is true. Here's what Chris and I are doing tomorrow. We're going to Starbucks. We're getting our keto coffee.
Mhm.
We're going to Disneyland, specifically kind of for an adventure.
Mhm.
We're getting on the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. Immediately go to the gift shop, getting the Thanos pop.
Yeah.
He's wearing the Infinity Gauntlet.
Okay.
I'm going home.
That's it.
That's all we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's it.
because we appreciate him so much as a bad guy. How
I
Can you
know.
badass
only
he
get
is.
it there?
I believe so, because I looked it up on Amazon. It was like $68.
Oh. How
Yeah.
much is it there?
15.
We just saw it last weekend for $15, and I wanted it so bad.
What if
I
it's
left
sold
it.
out?
That's what I told
We're
him.
hoping
But
not.
we're gonna go. We're gonna get on Guardians of the Galaxy regardless. We're going, and if it's
Okay,
there,
Starbucks.
sit.
I haven't been to Disney in so
sit on
long.
my deck. Come with us.
So long.
You need a pass.
I would
Okay,
have
just
to
pay. We'll get in the ride. We'll go home.
$180 or some shit like
Yeah.
that for
Just
like
get
a
pass.
day.
Get a pass. It's like $30.
I don't know.
Anyway, we'll wrap up here. So 3 of us were spared by Thanos. More than 50% doesn't really, you know.
Those are very good odds.
Yeah.
They know what we have to
If
offer.
you have a
All the men were
vagina,
spared.
Thanos hates you and wants to slay you.
You saw what he did to Gamora.
Doesn't want to say the vagina,
You
but
slob.
that's,
You saw
I
what
would-
you did to Gamora.
I would just
it
like-
has different
This is what
connotations.
I would
Possibly.
just like to say Thanos, I don't know if he's an equal opportunity employer.
I
3
love
men,
him.
1
I
woman
feel
is
very
employed.
fucking victimized.
Uh-huh.
And
right
Ronan
now.
and Loki, I mean, he doesn't seem to. I mean, Proxima Midnight was definitely his diversity hire.
yeah.
I
Anyway.
feel very sad. He was my boyfriend. I put everything on the line for him.
What I want to say is, everyone, thank you for listening. This was episode 2 of Endgame Unclear. We'll
Yes,
go
thank
ahead
you.
and upload it on YouTube. We're working on the iTunes still a little tricky. Like I said, our Endgame is still very unclear. We're trying to still figure it out.
Rory-
So like us, share, subscribe. If you think you know anyone who would like to listen to 3, sometimes 4 people just kind of ranting and going on their erratic musings about whatever, go ahead and let them know about it too, because we really appreciate the feedback also.
We're trying to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Do me a
please
favor, Rory.
subscribe, like,
edit it so we
share
just
with everybody.
edit it so that we just end it after the snap.
No.
Oh well, I tried.
And also
It
follow
ends-
us on Twitter and at Endgame Unclear, Instagram at Endgame Unclear, YouTube. You still have to search until we get 100 subscribers. We're about 8 right now, so we're 92 away to having the channel name.
We're almost there.
How many of our 8 are us?
I'm not
I know one is me.
I'm not subscribed.
One is me too.
Yay! So we have no random people yet, just people we know. It's about
No,
8
I'm
of
not
us.
attached to it.
Yes, please
Oh yes.
Oh.
subscribe, like, share.
I believe I say I don't want to listen to myself. So
Our social media game is very
Weak.
not strong right now.
non-existent.
Our social media food does not exist.
But you
Okay,
can help
so
it exist. Help feed
After
the
all
beast.
that self-promotion,
Yes.
right,
So anyway, hope you all
Bye.
enjoyed it. Thank you and good night.